seal the deal. That as the slob likes to say, he's going to seal the deal. And how does he do that? He does that by paying street workers and or prostitutes or professional masseuse big money to spend an hour or two with him. He seals the deal. That's what he considers sealing a deal. Not meeting a decent woman, having a nice dinner and a proper relationship. He seals the deal with cash and then ridicules people like myself who don't date streetwalkers, prostitutes, or any kind of professional masseuse for any reason whatsoever, no matter how pretty they are, no matter how much they would maybe enjoy having a meal with me for their own nefarious reasons, of course. I would never do such a thing. And if I ever did, I would never make it public. But see, the slob, who is /007, slob / coward / liar, and now I've proven that as well, he considers sealing the deal as some sort of momentous occasion. I mean, how does it make you more human or more, how do you become proud of yourself that you're paying a streetwalker, a common streetwalker? This is what he's been picking up lately because he's lowering his standards. Well, apparently he's lowering his standards because originally he said he would never pick up a streetwalker, and now for the last 3 or 4 days, except for today, because he's silent now after I called him out on the carpet and told him how he could justify his lies, half-truths, and bologna and cheese sandwiches. He's doing exactly what he said he would never do, and the reason in the beginning that he said he would never do it is because streetwalkers have more types of communicable diseases, I think he said, something along that line, or there's more of a chance of getting robbed by a streetwalker, which almost happened in Treetown the other day. Now, I would think that he would think a little bit more seriously about his well-being, but no, he probably won't. He's probably going to continue to pick up streetwalkers and do crazy stuff because he's an idiot. By proof he's an idiot is that he believes that to pick up a $90, pay $90 for a streetwalker. $90 is what he paid for a streetwalker about 2 weeks ago. $90 for an hour for a streetwalker. And he didn't even take a shower with the girl before he made love. He didn't even take a shower with her. He didn't want her to take a shower, and he didn't take a shower, and yet he talked about kissing her in strange places. That's disgusting. And even in that video, she said, "Why are you all sweaty and sticky? Why?" And he said, "Because I walk a lot." So, I mean, the least you could do is for you to take a shower, let alone her. I mean, no matter what she does, the germs are inside the love tunnel. She's never going to be clean. And you're going to be with the last 75 men, in theory, that she's been with. So the slob, by definition, is a disgusting human being. But he's also a liar and a coward. And now I'm going to go in a little bit into why I made a second video, which is very rare that I make a second video about someone. The reason I'm making a second video in reference to the slob and his lies, his half-truths, and his slander against myself is because had the shoe been on the other foot, and had someone caught me in a lie, which is never going to happen, I would have already, within the last 24 hours since the lie occurred, well, actually it's 36 hours now since the big lie occurred, that he lied, not me, I would have already had several videos by his creepy friend Rich and several hundred, if not possibly 1,000 comments of his army of trolls on my videos depicting me as a liar and a coward. Now, when he gets here, well, then we're going to find out the real truth. You know, that's factual. So moving on past that, the coward, I called him out on the carpet and his trolls out on the carpet 2 days ago, 36 hours ago, because he said that John 555 backed down from him. That's not true. Nothing could be further from the truth. Once the guy realized he was talking to the slob itself, he went like this. I don't know what John said to him. Whatever John 555 said to the slob, it scared him half to death. Hey, Jack, welcome to the machine, my friend. It scared the slob. You could see his eyes. Look, you'd have to be able to see the video. But take my word for it. I watched the video and then rewound it back to that part. The slob was scared. Whatever John 555 said to him in a gurgled voice, the slob went, okay, and backed up. He backed up and then walked back to his table. He did not confront John 555. Whereas if he had half the gonads that he states he has, he could have. It's in a public venue. It's in a public place. There were 200 people in the building. There were 50 people within a 20-foot radius. There was even guards watching the whole event. He could have at least given John 555 some lip, but he did not. He backed down like a little girl. And I don't know what to say other than the fact that, hey, Slob, I think you should change your icon instead of trying to make fun of me as Gaylord, as the brother of Gaylord. You are a piece of garbage, dude. I'm going to treat you with no respect at all. And you're going to find out what that means. I suggest you change your icon to Baby Alive and put a little bippy in your mouth, because the way you back down from John 555, that's how I see you, as a little child with a big mouth. You've probably never been in a street confrontation in your entire life, and probably the only reason why you got a big mouth is because when you were in the service, you had a lot of backup as servicemen backing you up. But in real life, no, I doubt it. I seriously doubt you got anything between your legs other than blah, blah, blah. Now, moving on, why did you not, this is a direct question to the 007 slob / coward / liar. We had to add liar. Because I gave you the opportunity, why did you not repost or make public, again, the video of you standing, walking over to John 555's table so that everybody could see he was not afraid of you, even though you made a video saying he was? Why did you not make that public? You didn't make it public because there's no proof whatsoever he was afraid of you. What did happen is he shooed you away like a fly off a bowl of rice. And also, why didn't you make the other video from your room? Well, that's one video in Treetown you could have made public to show everybody how John was afraid of you, which he wasn't. I would just love to get involved with this as a new aspect to my channel, talking to the bloggers in Thailand. And if any of the bloggers in Thailand are watching, here's my suggestion to John 555 and to Brian Flowers. If you people really do have any clout, leverage in the Thailand vlogging community or blogging community, you men know that the slob is an insult to humanity itself. You also know that the slob has broken so many laws in Thailand that if you had them recorded, or if someone had them recorded, you could go to the Thai police with those recordings, and maybe you couldn't get him put in jail. Maybe. And maybe he would only be fined. But one thing for sure, he would be asked to leave Thailand. And then you would be rid of him for good. Because if anyone did, now I don't have his videos. I never copied. I may have copied one video about me about a year ago, but it has nothing to do with Thailand. But if John 555 or Brian Flowers or I have the other guy's name, the guy who posted the SLOB's name and address on the internet. Let me see what that guy's name was. I got it here somewhere. It's something that has to do with Thailand. My computer's froze up a little bit. I don't know why, but I'll look for that name. If you guys have his videos and you report him to the Thai police as the law is that the prostitution is illegal. Dennis Adam made that clear as day. Jack Thompson made that clear as day, that the law says prostitution is illegal. And Dennis said 23,000 men were fined or imprisoned because of prostitution in Thailand in 2019. If you guys have those videos and you really wanted to get rid of him, I would suggest seriously that you bring those videos to the Thai police. And there are multiple videos where he's telling, like the streetwalker he picked up 2 weeks ago. He looked over and said, "You got a line?" And she said something. I don't know what she said. He goes, "I give you 3,000 baht. You stay with me tonight." That's prostitution. That's prostitution. Pick a common streetwalker. And he did. He brought her home. That video in and of itself would be evidence for the police to know that he is publicly indulging in prostitution with streetwalkers. It's no longer a private conversation on Thai Friendly. It's actual prostitution on the street. And that was public. Public, disclaimer, public. Let me get that guy. Well, anyway, it's really not that important, the other guy's name. But there was a guy, a man, a community post, some sort of mail to the SLOB with his entire address and his name and his legal name, first, middle, and last name, his legal address and the state he lives in, and the street number of his house on, what was it, Rainbow? Was it something that had to do with Rainbow? Was it Rainbow that he associates with? So you guys do have the ability to do the research. John 555 and Brian Flowers. So why am I doing another video that I normally would never do for a secondary live stream or video about someone? Because if the shoe was on the other foot, the SLOB, Richie, and that dirtbag that the SLOB had on his channel backing him up 2 nights ago on the live stream, saying that John 555 was afraid. You could clearly see John was afraid of you. What a butt kisser you are, dude. You're a liar. I already went through this in yesterday's live stream. You're a dirtbag. You're a liar. And anything that you say, because I know what the truth is. I know how many times you've lied. Exactly how many times you've lied about me. None of which you could ever prove. I could bet you $10,000 on a dozen different lies about me, and you couldn't prove one of them to win the money. And I have the money to wager $10,000. So don't make me say it again. I'll wager you $10,000 on some of the things that you said that they're just not true. Back it up. Put it on your channel. I've already spoken with the people that you said this and that about me, and they disagree. But that's not the point. The point is that the SLOB had somebody that lies about a conversation I had with the piece of work that he is, and he lied about with a simple thing like hanging up the phone. He didn't hang up the phone on me, and I didn't hang up the phone on him. And yet for 3 or 4 months now. Yeah, I hung up the phone on Fazio. I told him what a dirtbag. He did not. I told him, look, I've known you for 5 years. I don't think you're smart. Okay, not gonna really abuse the guy because I can't prove what was said in the conversation. But I don't think you're smart. We don't agree on this. This is going to be our last conversation. If you'd like to say something, I gave him the opportunity to say something. He said what he had to say. I said what I had to say, and I says, okay, if we're done, let's hang up the phone. And one of us hung up the phone, and then the other hung up the phone, and I don't know which happened first, but it wasn't my phone. No one hung up the phone on me while I was talking. No one did that. And if he did, that would be okay. I would admit it. But he lies about everything. So he went on the SLOB channel in defending the SLOB, saying that John 55 was afraid of him. He went on the SLOB channel saying that Michael Fazio, every video that Fazio puts out is repetitive. Nothing is the same. Every day it's the same thing. Dude, I put out a different contact of video every single time I put out a video. I do a live stream in New York. I've made this clear. I'm building a hotel. Now, I'm doing a lot of the preliminary work myself. Also, we have a full-on lockdown in the Philippines. Why should I burn up all my available funds? I'm not in any hurry to get this job done. I also need to have a special tool called a rebar bender. And I can't get that tool as of now. Not the one I want. It's a rebar bender cutter. It's 700 pounds, 350 kilos. I don't want 2 machines up on the roof of my cargo container. I don't want 1,500 pounds up there. I want one machine, cutter, bender, combination machine. So when I get that machine, then I'll move forward. But until then, no one's rushing me. The landlord and I are on great terms. We still spend all the holidays together. I am not at your beck and call. I don't work for you. You have me misunderstood with some schlep on YouTube that had a 9-to-5 job, like the guy who's defending the SLOB. He has no life. He has no life. He says, I have no life. He goes home and lives in an apartment. Okay, he lives in an apartment. I'm not going to knock him for living in an apartment, but he has no life. What does he do? He does occasionally go fishing. Okay, that's nice. Get out of the house. Probably enjoys the hell out of it too, but I don't make fun of him for only going fishing. I only make fun of him because he's a liar. Then he gets another drunk on his channel named Larry who backs him up and has 10 or 12 different troll accounts. This is the kind of person that the SLOB gets on his channel to back him up. A liar, and then a liar's troll named Larry from Dumageddon. Now, moving back to Brian Flowers and John 555. I suggest you start a material repository on the SLOB's live streams. And this is how I suggest you do it. You get a program that records live screen, everything on the screen. Not just after the fact uploading or downloading the video. As the video is being played, the video is being recorded. So there's programs out there that you can get for free that will record the screen as the words are being said. So if he takes the video down at the end, it still shows the URL, shows his channel, and it shows him on the screen picking up a prostitute. That's not really... In a court of law, there might be a few more things you'd need. You'd need to go show that video on his channel page. You'd need to catch the URL. You'd have to switch screens from the video to his channel page, see that it's a live stream, and then his channel URL, and then go back. There's things that you have to do. But the Thai police, I bet you they're not interested in all that happy horse shit. They know what he looks like and they know what he's doing. That would be enough to get him thrown out of the country, or at least get him off YouTube, because he is a disgrace to humanity, in my opinion. So that's John 555 and Brian Flowers. I'm going to tell you, That's something that you could do today. You just say, from now on, we're recording every video that you make. Somebody's designated. You might pay somebody to do it. Somebody is designated to record everything you say, and that will get him off of YouTube. He lies about everything. He goes, my videos aren't monetized, but he has Super Chat and he has his army, which probably a few hundred people giving him $2 or $3 a month, and then he gets Super Chat at $500 to $1,000 a week, and then he cries that he doesn't make as much as you guys. He shouldn't make anything for the garbage that he puts on YouTube. Nothing. And then he tries to take away money from a man like Flywoods One, Frank, his name is, for a legitimate cause that Frank has. Even though Frank made a mistake, he admitted that he made a mistake. He's not trying to take anything away from anybody. He said, I made a mistake and I need money to help me. But the SLOB, for the SLOB, that's not good. And the SLOB's friend, the ex-Philippines blogger who said he was going to quit YouTube but did not, and Mr. Barry Jordan, we give you 2 thumbs up. You dragged him right out from retirement, and you kicked his ass the last few days. Whether or not what you said on YouTube was provable, you proved some things that, in fact, it's quite possible he may have broken a few rules, Barry Jordan. So we give you 2 thumbs up for that. Now, moving back to the SLOB, because that's where we're going with this. Where I asked the SLOB, I said to you people, everybody, I said to you that the SLOB made 3 videos proving that what he said in his next night's videos was false. He made a video in Treetown walking up to John 555's table, and John 555 said something to him. I wish I knew what it was, and then shoot him away like a fly. Just moved his hand like this. And the SLOB backed up and walked away. He said, okay, like that. He went, okay. Whatever John said to him, I don't know what he said to him, but apparently the SLOB did not intimidate John 55. That's one video he could put back up and prove I'm a liar, but he can't put it back up and prove I'm a liar because my memory is perfect of that incident. Then he made one outside where he ran away from the streetwalker because he was in what is called the fight or flight mode, and he chose flight, which was probably a good thing. However, he wouldn't even take the time to throw money on the floor even for the streetwalker so she could get home. So he left her in a really bad predicament. He left, maybe she had no money. Well, maybe she could work from there. She's a streetwalker after all, right? But that's not the point. He dissed the streetwalker with 5-inch pumps on so he could run down the block and hide in an alley because he had to pee, because he was peeing in his pants out of fear. Now, he could also put that video back up. That's the second video he could put back up to prove I'm a liar. Prove you didn't run away from the streetwalker. Prove you didn't say, I got to get away from her. She didn't sit down when I told her to sit down. I'm not giving her any money. I'm going to diss her. Prove that that's what the real reason was and that you weren't in fear for your life, which is good that you were in fear for your life. You deserve to be in fear for your life because whatever was said in there, in between videos, that I am sure they made notice that you should leave. And why? I don't know what it was they said, but I am absolutely positive the way you ran down the street or walked really fast and dissed that streetwalker and then turned into an alley. And then when you were in the alley like this, the whole time you were talking, you were paranoid somebody was going to find you. You were paranoid, dude. There was no doubt about that. If you weren't paranoid, you would have just did what you normally do, walk down the block screaming at the phone. But you lied that you were going to pull the trigger the next night, which would have been last night. Okay? You lied about that. I'm having trouble with my computer now. That's wonderful. You lied about that. You absolutely lied about pulling the trigger and going back to Treetown the next night and how you were going to do this and do that. You didn't do any of that. But let's say Those two videos could prove that I'm a liar and you're the truth sayer here. And the third video from your room saying you were going to pull the trigger and you're going back there to straighten them out and you're going to teach everybody what a deep state agent is. And I got to restart my computer. And you're going to do this and you're going to do that and you're going to do this in Treetown the next night. You're going to show them what a deep state agent is. You're going to show them that you're a Trump deep state. You're going to show them that you're a Biden deep state. You're going to show them that you work for the United States as a deep state agent. You said all that shit in your hotel room and you took it down. And what did you do? That night or the next morning, the first thing you did was you got up and made arrangements not to go back to Treetown, but to disappear several hundred miles away in Bangkok. And what was the reason? Yeah, I'll go through the reason for those of you who want to hear the reason. The reason was all of a sudden, out of nowhere, where he was going back to Treetown the next day, he had to go back to Bangkok for business. Oh, yeah, he got an email at 11 o'clock at night that he had to go back to Bangkok for business. No, that's not true. What was the real reason? Oh, I forgot. The real reason was that the real reason is that the weather in Bangkok at this time of the year, is better than the weather in that place called Pattaya or Treetown. That's why he had to go back to Bangkok. And then again, there was a third reason. The third reason is because there are more girls in Bangkok. You struck out in Bangkok too, dude. You must have walked up to 5 streetwalkers in Bangkok the next night, and not one of them wanted to be with you at the price you were offering. So you struck, and then you met Lily Drama, and I turned it off at that point because we know Lily is going to do whatever she needs to do to make a living. That's for sure. So I just turned it off. But I couldn't look at it anymore because all the blah, blah, blah and bravado and this, that, and the other thing that you portrayed in the previous 3 videos I just mentioned, it all went out the window because you're a liar. You're a coward. You're a fraud. And I'm going to tell you something else. You're a coward. Okay? Hell, Soy Raider, thank you. I've seen your name around a few times. I don't know you, but thanks for stopping by. In this video, I'm accepting comments because this video has nothing to do with my hotel building or nothing to do with construction. This video is an educational video. Thank you. Nice to meet you as well. This is an educational video. And the education in this video is to show you that a guy with just a little over 1,500 subs is collecting $1,000 to $2,000, possibly $3,000 a month in Super Chat at one point a few months ago with his army of trolls and his Super Chat, Super State, all that other stuff that we have available to us. He's collecting between $1,000 and $2,000 a month, I think, on average, but I would say a minimum of $1,000 a month in Super Chats and Army. And then he says he also collects $6,000 a month from his pension and his government check, which is possible. Why would you give a guy that's collecting $6,000 or $7,000 a month another $1,000 a month to lie and cheat and steal your time away from you? Why would you do that? This guy gets on YouTube. He uses my name, Michael FAZIO. He uses my name to get people to go to his channel. I've never done that before yesterday by mentioning his name. He uses my name and makes fun of me. This guy is as big of a creep as you could possibly get. Think about who the SLOB really is. I could give you his real name and his real address, where they keep the casinos, but I wouldn't. But I might figure out a way to do that indiscriminately, because you did it to me. He did it to me. But think about this. This guy has never told the truth about anything. And now he's using my name and my screenshots of my dollar bill videos and making fun of me as being, he's gay and he's the brother of me. No, my brother's not gay. And if you have no idea what you're getting involved with, SLOB, you have not a clue. So this guy is collecting $1,000 a month plus. Wait, I'm trying to get my video open on my screen. I don't know why I'm having trouble with this, but I have to. My computer froze up. Whoa, super chat. Thank you. Louis, is that Luispaganponce? Wait, Luispaganponce. That was Luispaganponce. Says, if Fazio calls you a liar, then you are a liar. If Faz calls you a coward, then you are a coward. If Faz says you ain't that smart, then you ain't that smart. If the Faz says you are a piece of garbage, then you know. That's true. Louis, thank you. Louis, I shut off. Yeah, thank you. Whoa, I am remiss. I owe you a proper pot banging and another pot banging on top of the proper pot banging. And I have just the utensil to do it with right here. Just so happen. I don't have the utensil itself, but I will in a moment. Momentarily, we will be banging away. Yeah, so... Yeah. Now I want to show you something before I bang the pot. I bang the pot a little bit. I bang the pot. Now, that was a little bit. Oh, we had an accident. So look at me. Look at my channel. Look at what I did for a living. Look at what I can do. I can operate any heavy piece of equipment in the world in just a matter of a few days. But I am an excellent, absolutely superb, top-class, top-of-the-line backhoe operator and track hoe operator and bobcat operator. And I'm going to go one step further, live wire, live boom on the ocean crane operator. And I have videos to prove it all. Watch this. Let's see the SLOB or his creepy friend Richie operate a backhoe. Come on. Look at what I'm doing. I got a 1-ton rock in the excavator in the backhoe bucket over here. A 1-ton rock. Okay, I'm building in a $3 million backyard, a $3 million property. I'm expanding a live dolphin pond by putting in a private white sand beach in the pond. And this is a series of videos I have on my Alpha Male channel and also on my Hoodwinked by an Angel channel. Who else on YouTube does this, shows this kind of stuff? Who else in the Philippines vlogging genre shows you that he can operate heavy equipment? Nobody. You got that creep that the SLOB had on his channel backing him up saying that, look at the size of that rock. And I risked my life and limb out in the middle of a field, in the middle of nowhere, 500, 700 feet from the house. If something happens to me, I just die. No one would even hear me scream. And I'm out there busting my ass every day, and the SLOB just runs his mouth, and you people give him thousands of dollars. Now, who else on YouTube shows you that they run heavy equipment? Nobody in the Philippines genre. Nobody in the Philippines genre has ever shown you anything that they've ever done in their entire life. Save a few. Landhawk 59, who's a friend of mine. He built a restaurant. You don't see him working in the restaurant, but he did go through the trouble of building one, and he's a hard-working man. But other than that, everybody else is just blah, blah, blah. You people out there have no understanding of reality. Could the SLOB work for me for a day? No. Could his friend Richie work for me for a day? No. Could that other guy who said that my work site is a mess, who you're no longer allowed on my site, it's a mess a little bit for you because you don't understand what I'm doing, number one. And number two, it's a dynamic mess. Every day it's a different mess because I do a different thing every day. So it's not a perpetual stagnant mess like you portrayed it. And the reason why I removed the comments from people like you, the guy with all the parachutes on his page, you may have been a paratrooper like my dad. That's very nice. Hard job, very dangerous profession. But you may have been but you have no content on your channel. You have no videos, no like videos, no playlists. You're not allowed on my channel to critique me until you put something on your channel that is man-worthy, worthy of manhood, according to my opinion, whether or not you're a man. Jumping out of a plane probably makes you a man, but you don't have videos of that. You don't have pictures of that. You don't have any content of you jumping out of a plane, either in the Army or after the fact as a private, paratrooping. I mean, private jumpers. You don't have any video. You can't come on my channel and critique me if you don't have content on your channel. If you had content on your channel, I would have left your comment up, but you don't. So don't come on my channel and critique me. You got that piece of garbage Richie. When have you ever seen him do anything? You got that other piece of garbage Larry from Dumageddon. When have you ever seen him do anything? Nothing. His wife does all the work. When you got that other piece of garbage, well, not the guy from Indiana. He does have he's a hard worker. I watched him work. He has a video out that he works very hard on. He's probably an exceptionally good worker. I'm not going to try to take that away from him, but he's a liar, so it all amounts to null at the end of the day. Mute. It's a moot point. If you're a liar, everything that you've ever done and said is a moot point because you could be proven to be a liar. You can't prove anything you said is true. And in 10 years, no one's ever proved me to be a liar. So let me get my channel back up. I want to see what's being said because you guys know I was off the air. You take advantage of me like that, and then the slob was crying like a little girl because somebody doxed him. And why was he crying? Because somebody doxed him. Meanwhile, the slob has doxed every single person he could on YouTube. And I want to talk about flywoods. I'm going to go one step further. I'm not going to put down flywoods, and you're not going to call flywoods plywoods. You're not going to call any of my friends' names on my channel. I don't care whether you come to my channel or not. YouTube agrees with me. If you want to make a YouTube agrees with me. If you want to, YouTube agrees with me. If you want to make a comment and it's derogatory or not derogatory, if you really want your comment read, that you have the opportunity to do Super Chat or become a member of my community or PayPal or something like that. I'm not demanding that you do that, but YouTube agrees with me. I don't have to read your comments. It's not my job to read your comments. Right now, it's my job to get my channel back open because it was froze up pretty damn solid before, I'll tell you that. So my job is to give you the truth, and I am giving you the truth. Okay, that's one. Okay, that's a file I want open, and this is also a file I want open. I have to open up my channel. I have a brand new computer. Every 15 minutes, it shuts itself off. I don't know much about computers. That I will give you. And every 15 minutes, it puts itself into the sleep mode. And every 15 minutes, I have to wake it up. And sometimes I have to put the codes back in. And I don't know why. I brought it back to the store. And it was vague as to how it could be fixed. There was a lot of noise in the store. And I just don't know what I'm doing wrong. And I had a friend of mine that used to fix it for me, but I don't think he's alive anymore. He was hooked on barbiturates. But I'm the only man on YouTube that shows, you guys make fun of me, okay? I literally owned land cranes that on land with a pile driving unit on it. Barges with a pile driving unit on the ocean, self-propelled barge that I drove over 10,000 miles in the 11 years I owned it. By myself. Navigating from Michigan to New York, all over the Hudson River, the East River, the Long Island Sound, the Jersey Shore, all over. All over. I put 10,000 miles on the barge. Most of them by myself because no one wanted to go 4 miles an hour for 2 days going somewhere, sleeping on a barge. And then I brought it from New York to Florida, and then from Florida to Cat Island, 350 more miles from Miami. None of you people have ever done that, and I have all the videos to prove it. But you people going blah, 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 blah. Slob, you couldn't work for me for 3 hours. I'd fire you long before breakfast was around. Because you're, first of all, you have no physical skills that I can see. You have a mouth. That's how you made a living, selling insurance. You're a liar, and you expand on some small little piece of evidence or evidentiary piece of thing that you find out somebody's weakness and you exploit it. That's what salespeople do. That's what you do. That's what you did your whole life, and that's what you're doing now. And I opened up my channel. But let me get to my channel where the comments are, and then we're going to go through. Okay, we're going to go through the comments. Jack Thompson, hey. Jack Thompson says, you can be arrested in Thailand for playing cards. Gambling is not allowed in Thailand. Okay, now we have a new person, Soy Raider. Now, I've seen your name a few times. I don't know who you are, but thank you for stopping by. What hell have I been linked to? But I understand everything this man is saying, LOL. Well, if you follow me, you know I don't like the slob. For so many reasons. There are so many legitimate reasons to have this man taken off of YouTube blogging genre. First of all, he's promoting prostitution. Second of all, he's promoting drug addiction to Viagra. And then third of all, he's promoting just degeneracy in general, alcoholism. He's, in my opinion, he's a degenerate alcoholic that he's made it clear he needs Viagra to have sex with these girls, and then he cleans them up with his mouth before he makes love to them. Come on, man. These are streetwalkers. Where were they 45 minutes before you met them? That's disgusting. All right, moving on. Nice to meet you, says Soy Raider. I would suggest he's doing okay then. Yeah. Okay, so don't try to trick me, Soy Raider. That ain't going to happen. Or any of my personal friends. Don't do it. Don't do it again. Ask another incriminating question like that, and you will be history. Don't come on with 3 or 4 comments plus positive praising comments and then try to trick me to say somebody's name. You piece of garbage. You're already on my shit list. And that was just from 1 comment. Next time, you get shit canned. Okay, now, Luispaganponce says, if Foz calls you a liar, then you're a liar. If Foz calls you a coward, then you're a coward. If Foz says you ain't that smart, you ain't that smart. If Foz says you are a piece of garbage, then you are. when Luispaganponce, he's the man. I owe Luispaganponce a big I'm sorry from yesterday. For some reason, and I don't know what it is, either I miss it without my glasses on, that there has been a super chat, or it registers late. And I didn't turn around to look at my screen. And yesterday, Luispaganponce donated $25 as a super chat, and I don't know who Luispaganponce is. But he has been following me for many years, and I appreciate that. So that's why I put his name in today's title. So we'll give, I got to make up a song. All right. Luispaganponce. He knows the truth. He listens to the fuzz. He knows I've never been caught in a lie. I'd rather die. Luispaganponce. He takes a stance against the SLOB. 007 slob / liar / coward. Luispaganponce agrees with me. Luispaganponce has the vision to see the SLOB. 007 slob / liar / coward is a liar, 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 liar. Ha ha ha, ha ha ha. Luispaganponce, thank you very much for the super chat. Luispaganponce, he's a good man. He's going to heaven. All right, Louis, thank you. Now, Luispaganponce, let the banging begin. And the banging began. So I write, loves this. I'm connected to demolition in UK. Ah! Okay, so Soy Writer is a real person. See, Soy Writer, I have to apologize to you. I have been remiss. I didn't ask you if you had a channel name. And maybe you do and maybe you don't. But demolition, I'll tell you what. I'll ask you one question because I did demolition. What do they call what is the name of the object that you put inside a starter? What is the name of the object that you put inside the starter? Usually, sometimes there's two. What is the average? I'll ask you another question. You better answer these questions. You don't look this shit up online. You don't have a lot of time. What is the name of the object that they place inside a starter? An initiator? Okay. And what is it called when they have 6 starters in a line? How do they control? How is it controlled if you have 6 starters in a line? What would be the let's say you were blasting offshore on a shoal and the shoal is deep on one side. Okay, very good. Okay, he knows about blasting. Thank you. Okay, because I blasted for many years, and not a lot of you couldn't just pull that shit off the internet that fast. Okay, I apologize. You're actually in start. I used to set off, just as a side note, I used to set off 3,000 pounds of 50-50. 2 starters. We would drill with a 6-inch. We had 2 350 cats on my barge. We put 350 cats on the front of my barge on a diamond plate grid, not plate, but a diamond mesh. We extended the front of the barge out 8 feet, and we put the cats out, the 350 cats out on the front of the barge, and then in the middle of the barge, we took off the crane that I had on my barge. We had one of the bigger cranes pick it up and take it off and put it on land. And we put a 1,600 CFM Ingersoll Rand compressor with a 500-gallon reservoir, 350 PSI, 2.5-inch hose. And we put that on the barge to run the 2 350 cat air drills. and we were using T50 rope steel going down 60 feet with a 6-inch head on it. And we were going down 60 feet. And we were dropping, at 60 feet, we were dropping 2 starters, taking out the wire, dropping 6 packs, 20-pound packs of 50-50, 2 more starters, 6 more packs of 50-50, 2 more starters, and then closing up the hole. So we would dropping anywhere from 200 to 300 plus pounds per hole. And we had 6 holes running across the front of a 30-foot barge to break up granite. That's what we were breaking up for a sewer tunnel. And I could tell you a funny story about that, but the blaster eventually got fired. He used to come to work drunk out of his brain. But he set the microchargers up. The microcharger should have been the outside of the shoal first to blow the. Okay, so we were working in 25 to 30 feet of water, but we came up on this shoal, and it was Christmas Eve, 1990. Probably you could look this up, but Buffalo Bill was the blaster's name. And all right, so we have on the barge, we have our caps, our blasting caps, of course, in one box, and we have our 50-50 in another box. And we have 3,600 pounds of 50-50, and we had, I don't know how many starters we had, probably had about 50 starters. So if we had to get the blast done because we were drilling extra deep because we were on a shoal, and we still had to go down 60 feet for the tunnel. So we're on this shoal, and we're facing now shore. And away from the front of the barge, shore is 700, 800, 900 feet away. Okay, so it's quite the distance. But now we're drilling from, we started early Christmas Eve morning at 6 o'clock in the morning. We were drilling at 6 o'clock. And you know that when you have dynamite on a job, Tobacco and Firearms has to come and take the dynamite off the barge if there's not going to be a 24-hour watch on the barge. I don't know how it works on land. Pretty sure it works the same way. So Tobacco and Firearms would have to come and pick up 3,600 pounds of dynamite. So we're almost done. They ran into this problem and that problem. Plus, we were really drilling through 60 feet of what we thought was granite, but it turned out to be hard pack, not granite. And Buffalo Bill, put, instead of 3,000 or 2,800 pounds of 50-50 starters, 50-50 pigs in there, he put 3,600. And instead of putting 6 starters in each hole, he put 8 or more. We used up all 50 starters, so 6 times 8 would be 48. So he put 7 in 2 holes. Okay, now the blast is going to go forward when we back the barge off. So we back the barge off, and we have the wire, the starter wires, the fire wire. We have the fire wire coming off on 50 wires are coming off the starter wire, and on 50 different rolls on the barge. And then the blaster Buffalo Bill puts all the wires together, and of course took the battery off the charger, off the detonator, and then he goes, okay, I was on watch. It was my barge and it was my workboat, so it was my job to blow the horn. So I leave the barge sometime around 3:45 in the afternoon. It's getting dark, but it's a gray day, so it's not really dark, but it's a gray day. So I get radio. They radio me. We're getting ready to blast, and they give me the countdown, and I blow the horn, and I give them the all clear on the radio, and I'm back about, you got to be 1,000 feet back. So I'm back well over 1,000 feet, but I am to the side of the charge. Now, the barge is here, the charge is in front, and in front of us, 700 or 800 feet away, is the Mamaroneck Marina in Mamaroneck, New York. And every boat in the marina, it's December, every boat in the marina is a yacht, anywhere from 30-foot, 40-foot sailboats to 90-foot boats. Every one of them are $1 million vessels. So I give the all clear. Bill gives me the countdown. I give the all clear, and Bill sets off the charge. Well, what Bill didn't do, I had it backwards. Bill should have set the first charge at the deepest part of the shoal. However, here was the big problem. By the time we got the charges set, backed off the barge, and I did my tour of the harbor to make sure no one was involved, the actual top of the shoal was showing in at some point just forward of where we drilled, because we were drilling back. So we had already cleared between the shore and the charge was already clear. So there was nothing in the way of the charges blowing the not the spoil forward. Nothing in the way of blowing the spoil forward, because that had already been cleared out. And the night before, my father had brought in the dredge with the bucket on it, with a 60 cubic yard bucket, rock bucket, that could pick up 90 cubic yards. They had cleared the hole out in front of where we were blasting. So now there's nothing but water 60 feet down. And the charge, we were doing it in stages, 6 feet back, 6 feet back, 6 feet back. So now you have 3,600 pounds of dynamite set at 6 feet behind what we thought was granite, but it had, most of it had been actual hard pack. At some point, the shoal became hard pack, not granite. So you would understand what I'm saying. So Bill sets off the charge. Now I'm looking at the charge like this, because I'm at the mouth of Mamaroneck Harbor, blocking anybody that would want to come in at about 1,500 feet away from the charge and from the shot. And I'm looking at the charge from the side, not from the back. So if you're blasting and a 3-foot rock goes straight up, you can't tell if it's gone straight up or it's gone straight up and away from you or straight up and in back of you. You can't tell. But I could tell that this charge, instead of blowing up 6 or 8 feet of mushroom water on top of the harbor, this charge shot up 20 plus 30 feet of blown up water, dispersed water. It was the biggest shot by weight. It was the biggest shot by 800 pounds. By starters, it was the biggest shot by probably 20 starters. And I'm looking, and there's rocks. Now there's rocks the size of a refrigerator now moving towards Mamaroneck Harbor. You could look this up. The Coast Guard has a record of this. His name is Buffalo Bill. That was the blaster. 1990 or 1991. And this one rock, I don't know how big it was. We never did find out which rock it was. But this one rock, which was probably about 35, 36 inches in diameter, a meter, it goes straight out of the hole from the center of the mass of the charge, straight out of the hole, and hits like an 80-foot flagpole with the American flag flying on the flagpole. It hits it about 10 or 12 feet from the ground level, and it snaps the pole. It kicks the bottom of a 60-foot wooden mast from an old sailboat. It snaps it right about 12 feet up from the earth, and it shattered it like a toothpick. And then the flag, if you're looking at it from the side, the pole broke in half, and then the flag, the pole broke this way, and then the flag came down and landed in the water next to the boats. And that was one of the bigger rocks. Now, other rocks went through the decks of these $1 million yachts, and some of them went right through the hull. This is the funny part. The whole Mamaroneck Bay on December 24th of 1990 or 91, whatever year that was, could have been 92. I worked for that company for a couple of years. They rented my barge from me. But the funny part is there was 6 inches of ice covering the entire harbor, except where we were blasting, because I would take the barge, which was self-propelled, and I'd break up the whole area where we were going to blast that day, or my dad would come with his tugboat and break it up around where we were going to blast. But the harbor itself, where the boats were, was frozen solid. So these rocks start falling, they start smashing, you hear like broken glass, which is what it was. And that you could see them hitting the boat, and the boat's going like this and like that, and the boat's rocking in the ice. And I'm looking, and I'm laughing my ass off, because I didn't like Buffalo Bill from the day I met him. He was a drunk. He was always drunk. He was drunk when he set the charges off. He made a mistake. What he didn't do was microcharge them, either in the right direction or microcharge them at all. It was never clear what he did, because firearms and tobacco and firearms took him away to do a blood test on him Christmas Eve. And that's why I didn't like him, because the guy was dangerous, man. The guy was just freaking dangerous. I mean, everything he did was dangerous. I can only explain it to he broke every rule when it came to blasting. We blasted in the dark, not allowed. We blasted after a certain time of the day, not allowed. We started drilling before you were supposed to start drilling in the morning because of noise ordinances, not allowed. We left 10,000 pounds of 50-50 in the dynamite box on shore, and 1,000 starters, not allowed. We left dynamite on the barge, not allowed. We said we left a man on the barge to watch the dynamite. We lied. He lied. So they took him away. So that's a true story. You could look that up with the Coast Guard. Mamaroneck Harbor, 90, 91, 92, Buffalo Bill, blasting, accident. So now we're on the barge, where I'm on my boat, and I go back I couldn't go to the harbor because it's frozen solid. I could only go back to the harbor with the barge, where I had broke up a path earlier that morning, or my dad broke up the path with his tugboat. And we go back to the harbor. I tie up the workboat to my barge, and then we go onto shore, and we start walking. The flagpole is the United States flag, like a 6x8 flag, is in the water. The whole end of the pole is in the water, and you can hear ice breaking. So we go out on the docks, and there's boats like this and like this and like that, and they're sinking through the ice. These are the big boats, like the 60-footers. Literally, rocks went straight up in the air and then came down through the boat. And that was just the beginning. So the boats were literally breaking the ice, because as they filled up with water, they became heavier. And then there were rocks outside the boats. We're talking about 1,000 tons of rocks that were blasted onto this harbor, not like 1 or 2 rocks. And then the boats were all sinking through the ice. And then by that time, the Coast Guard and firearms and tobacco and firearms came. And then one of the neighbors that I put the barge behind her house, a man's house, he came by and he said, we have another problem also. A rock went right through his roof, through his living room, through his living room ceiling, through his living room floor, and crushed his car like an 18-inch rock. And that was just one of the neighbors that came forward. So that's a true story. You could look that up. If you could somehow, if you had the ability to look it up, it's in the books. And the name of the barge that may have been listed was Barge Dragon. That was my barge. And I don't know that they put that in there, but the blaster's nickname was Buffalo Bill. His real name was Bill, but I don't know what his last name was. And then just a few months later, most of the guys that were on my barge died in one accident. 6 of the crew that was on my barge, 9 men, including myself. It was myself, Buffalo Bill, Ricky Spears, the Kid. We used to call him Billy the Kid, and a couple of other guys. There were 9 guys. Just a few weeks later, I had been bringing when they were done with my barge, I brought it back from Mamaroneck to New York Harbor and then down to Howard Beach where I lived. I should have been on the next drill job, blasting job. They were on a tower 60 feet high. The tower was. Every one of these guys were drunks except Billy the Kid. He didn't drink. He was a big guy, big Swedish or Amish guy, big, nice young man. He didn't drink, he didn't smoke, he didn't curse. He just was a real quiet, like, Swede. And then on top of the rig, they were drilling a 66-inch. They were drilling with a 66-inch core bit into the pylon, into the tube that surrounds it. The tube they drop down around the hard pack up on top in the soil. And they had 3-inch air lines. And of course, you have a safety line on every airline, sometimes 2, a piece of 1/4-inch cable in case they break apart. Supposedly, the 1/4-inch cable is supposed to keep them from whipping around like a water hose. Well, there was no safety cable on 2 pieces of hose that they put together. And there were 6 or 7 men up on the top of the platform where the drill was going down into the core. And one of those lines broke. And the hose was short. It was tied off on the railing. But the air was coming out at such a pressure that it was swashing back and forth like this. It was literally blowing the men apart. The insides just blew out all over the place, all over the job site. The hose, because they were on the railing, and they were trying to get away, but the hose just cut them in half. And Billy the Kid, when he saw that happening, he was fast enough. He's a young guy, strong as hell. He was fast enough to just get over the rail and hang on. And he lived. But the other 5 or 6 men died. So drilling is a serious. The air comes out of that hose the same way you'd wash sand away with a hose on the beach. The air washes flesh away from bones. And that's what happened. And the whole crew, except for me, Billy the Kid, and Buffalo Bill, was gone. There was no more. Buffalo Bill's crew was gone. That was a strange time of my life. At that point, I quit. I said to myself, I don't mind blasting. I don't mind. But when I heard what happened, because it was cleaned up by the time I got back after Christmas, I said, nah, I'm done. This is just too dangerous. Dock building is just too damn dangerous for me. And I'm an adrenaline junkie, but not like that, man. So I went back to dock building for a while and I did the cofferdams for the pipe. Being 90 foot at the bottom of a cofferdam hole, and that didn't interest me much either. So I did that for a few more months, and then I quit. That was enough of that. Okay, so if you Soy Raider, if you have something to say. Soy Raider with 5 lira. Oh my God. Thank you. I didn't expect that. That was a true story, Soy Raider. Thank you. Soy Raider. He's a real man. He can come to my channel anytime he can. Soy Raider. Salamat. Soy Raider. Soy Raider. We smile at you, a real man in the show. Soy Raider. Sung to the tune of Goldfinger. Soy Raider. Salamat. Sung to the song of Christmas time. Soy Raider is my kind of man. He did stuff that would make you poop in your can. Soy Raider is a real man. Thank you, Soy Raider. Salamat. Soy Raider, the noob. Luispaganponce. Nowadays, something as mental as walking up is considered an accomplishment. Okay. Luispaganponce. Nowadays, something as menial as waking up is considered an accomplishment by these so-called men that are running around on YouTube. Truly pathetic. Reality is so skewed, it's not even funny anymore. Now, I could talk about those 3 golden statues they put up in New York City. To talk about a skewed society mental attitude, man. My God. And I got blocked on RT, Russian TV or Russian television. I am 100% banned from Russian television for the comment I put on that channel about those 3 golden statues in YouTube. I didn't put anything bad per se. It was not racist or anything like that, but it was a comment saying that those 3 people, in my opinion, didn't deserve to have statues made, especially when you have real heroes like there was I won't tell you who the statues were, but you know, what was the guy? The black rights activist, Martin Luther King. Now, if you read Martin Luther King's work and you listen to some of his videos and his speeches, he was really trying to bring the world together. He should have a statue in New York City for him, not just a Martin Luther King Boulevard, but instead they put up a guy who was a known crack addict, threatened a woman's life with a shotgun and her pregnant child. And they put up a stat. This is crazy shit. All I did was talk about, well, I won't say it, but I did get banned permanently from RT. Within an hour, there were like 2,600 comments after I made a comment, and my comment had 0 thumbs up, and some of them had 1,000 thumbs up. So that's impossible. Most of them had 200 or 300. So RT has banned me from their site. Moving on. Yeah, you're right, Luispaganponce. There are no real men left in this world. And that's the plan. That's always been the plan. That's always been the plan. Eventually, by putting up statues from these 3 people, I wouldn't put up a statue about them. Eventually, by putting up statues about those 3 people and taking down statues of people like Ulysses S. Grant a few weeks ago, George Washington, all the great generals, General Lee, and they put up these criminals as statues. Really, the history does belong to the victors, and the victors are the New World Order. There's no doubt about it. They're changing men into women, and then they have to change them back into men again when they put them in military service and go, oh well, you know, we taught you that guns are bad, and we taught you that killing people is bad, and we taught you that racism is bad, and that is for the first 18 or 19 or 20 years of your life. But now we're going to ask you to pick up a weapon and go kill everybody on the other side of that fence because we say so. And they make killing legal because it's war, and it's advocated by the United States government and other governments. They make it legal to go kill people that are their enemies, but you are not allowed to do that. And then when you get back out of the service after they've trained people to kill people that they say go kill on demand, then they tell you, oh, you know, you did that to serve your country, but then please don't do that again or we'll have to arrest you and put you in jail for life. Society is sick. That's why I loved living in Arizona, except I hated living in a desert. Every single person in Arizona carries a gun. And if they don't have a gun, you don't know it. There's no crime in Arizona. I loved living there. Everybody had a gun. Nobody yelled at anybody. Nobody beeped the horn at anybody. Nobody screamed at anybody if there was a fender bender. Everybody just minded their own business. I walked around Phoenix for an entire month. No one ever bothered me. Why? Because it was legal to carry a gun, open carry. And I would carry a gun, open carry. See, but now they want to take the guns away from the American citizens. So now people are going to start getting killed again, of course. But that's not the point of this video. Jack Thompson. Jack Thompson is talking about his friend, the artificial ejaculator, the accidental ejaculator. He's got a friend that he's been breaking into colonoscopy clinics at night and stealing colonoscopies, and the FBI is now involved because he's brought these colonoscopies over the state line, even though he had them hidden in his cavity. Now the FBI is involved with colonoscopy theft because the colonoscopies were brought across state lines. Jack's got some pretty strange friends. Is Isha Malata. Look out for power saving settings. Hey, Isha Malata, I know you. Thanks for stopping by. Wow, I just went down really, really far. To maybe solve the standby issue on computer, try to change your power saving settings. Hello from England, Mike. Okay, I'm going to copy that down. You know, you could be right about that because it actually has something to do with power saving settings. I have it. I copied it. I'm pasting it. I'll look into that. There's also another problem, Ishamalada. Okay? The problem is, I'll tell what it is. Okay, so okay. The problem is, it shuts down after 15 minutes, but when they set my computer up, they separated the 1 terabyte drive, which is plenty, but they only gave me like half a terabyte in the drive that I upload videos to. And that gets full really fast. And then when it gets full, that freezes up the computer. So then I have to load those videos or just load them onto an external drive. And I have to bring they told me I have to dump everything out of both. On one side of the drive with 9.5 terabytes is empty, and on the other side of the drive with 0.5 terabytes is full. They say I have to dump everything out of that and then bring it into the city, and they'll make it opposite. They'll make it like 0.8 into where I load and 0.2 of a terabyte into whatever else they use that part for. I'm not smart when it comes to computers. And hold on, I got some information coming in here I'm going to go back to the comments in a minute. Oh, yeah. Okay. Let's see if anything important. Okay, let's make an announcement here. Let's make an announcement. Big announcement here. Big announcement. Biggest announcement on YouTube in months, actually. Flywoods. Flywoods 1. Flywoods 1 has an announcement to make. Tomorrow at 9 a.m. Philippines time, Flywoods 1 is going to be interviewed on a channel named Every Man Has a Story YouTube channel tomorrow. Every Man Has a Story YouTube channel. Flywoods 1 is going to be interviewed, and I would imagine Flywoods 1 is going to talk about someone that's been abusing him on YouTube. I would imagine that's going to be the topic matter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this new piece of information. Then I'm going to go to my YouTube channel. I got to get through these comments. Passport is in the house. Soy is back again. Thank you for coming back. Okay. Flywoods 1. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to post it 3 times. And then this is pretty important because Flywoods really has a case against another YouTuber, as do several other people. And I'm sure he's going to talk about that case. All right, I'm going to go back up and grab these comments. No premature ejaculation or demolition from Soy Raider. Barge Dragon YouTube. That's all you have to do is put Barge Dragon, B-A-R-G, Barge Dragon YouTube into the search engine, and you'll come to my barge. So you guys out there that have never shown anybody any videos of yourself or talk the big talk about I worked my ass off and I have the scars to prove it. You're a liar. You're a liar. We want to see some work that you did. Luispaganponce says thank you. No worries, Mike. Soy Raider, I believe you, Soy Raider. You didn't come up with those 2 answers as to the answers to how to do blasting. Not that fast. No, you're the real deal. Hey, Jeff Oronson. Jeff Oronson. Okay, now Jeff Oronson brings up a valid point, man. I was going to bring that up as a valid point. I think I mentioned it briefly. Do you know that the SLOB, in his last live stream in Bangkok, tried to pick up, I don't remember exactly, but it was at least 3, possibly 4 streetwalkers, straight up and down streetwalkers. And they all shoot him away. Now, and one reason, of course, is because he has a camera. Well, can you blame these girls? They don't want to be on video, so their parents may know what they're doing, but the parents don't want to see that shit. But he has no respect for these women at all. So this man brings up a valid point. Jeff Oronson says that he can't even pick up a streetwalker recently. That's true. And then he's offered them as much as 3,000 baht in one video, and they don't want to go with him anyway because it's my opinion, and it's just an opinion, that he is quasi-famous in Bangkok and Pattaya, and that these girls have said he treats us like crap when he gets us back to the hotel room, tosses us out without letting us get a night's sleep. That's my opinion. And then displays it all over YouTube like we're some sort of trophy. And they are, to him, they're just garbage under his fingernails. So, dude, you have had trouble picking up even a streetwalker. And you have, at the end of the last video I saw, you met by accident one of your ex-girlfriends who totally accepts you for the piece of crap you are because of the money you give her. Damn, dude, she has some really low standards. So thank you, Jeff. That's true. And Jeff Orenson, now, Jeff, I'm gonna tell you a little secret, and inside, don't tell anybody else, Jeff. But there is now there are people involved with what is called a material repository that are collecting data on the SLOB, videos, excerpts, things like that, and they're going to report him to the authorities. So you won't see. Now I know he doesn't believe that because he's an idiot, but if he does believe it, then you won't see him walking around doing the crazy stuff that he does, unless he really is out on a mental disability. Then he won't care. But there is now a group of people. I will tell you that this is factual. There's a group of people out there recording everything that he has said and done. I'm not real sure how long it's been going on. That's why I mentioned it today. They should report him. They should get enough evidence together and report him. And there's a material repository. Now, if you want that material to get to the right people, they watch my channel. So I won't make anybody a wrench for the material repository information because I am not a member of that, but I will tell you that they watch my channel. So if your video has a name to it and it's re-uploaded on your page, someone that has to do with the material repository that's collecting information on the SLOB will see your video title and hopefully be able to get over to your page. Or if you put your link down and I find it in my spam box and I look at the video and it has to do with the SLOB, I'll allow it to be posted, your link to your channel, or the link to that video. Okay? So I have no problem with that. This guy has been abusing people for 2 years. And now he's making videos, Gaylord FAZIO with an S, and he's supposed to be my brother. Dude, you have no idea who you're crossing. You have not a damn clue. Not one bit. You might be sick mentally, but that's not going to stop what's going to happen to you when you run up across somebody like one of the men that work for Brian Flowers or John 555. There are people that are just not going to have a conversation with you. They're just going to do what they intended to do. Symphony to get my ears. That's right. Ring mains. Okay, ring mains would be... the initiators, we call them starting caps, but initiators is actually what they are. That's a fact. And what an initiator is it's basically a bullet without the projectile. So in the starters that we were using, it was a 22 long. And we would typically have two holes in the top of the starter and then the wire that went to start the charge. Now, there are other size starting caps. There are bigger caliber. It could be 38 caliber, 45 caliber. It depends on the charge. But there are bigger bullets without projectiles, and the bullet goes into the charge. You just place it in the charge. You just slip it in. It's friction. You just push it in there, and that's it. You don't lock it down with anything. You don't have to do it. And when that charge goes off, it shoots a 22 caliber long charge into the starter, and because there's nowhere for the starter to go, it blows up, causes compression, and causes the explosion. Now, that explosion causes an explosion going up into the pigs, the 20, 50, 50 pigs, whatever dynamite charge that you have. There are different types of charges and different types of plastic, and we only use 50-50. And it's a plastic pig about 3 inches in diameter. It's like a plastic bag with gelatin. It is gelatin. Gelatin in it, about 18 inches long, 3 inches wide, and they weigh whatever they weigh. And we would put 6 of those, which was probably about 20 pounds of 50-50, 2 more starters, 6 more, another 20 pounds, and then in the deeper charges, 6 more on top of that with more starters. And then as far as the ring mains are concerned, the ring mains comes from all the wires. Every detonator, every 22 caliber bullet has a wire coming from it. So if you had 50 starters, you have 50 wires. If you had 6 starters, you have 6 wires coming back to your igniter or your plunger. It wasn't really a plunger. It was just a dial that turned on the electric. With a lousy 6-volt lantern battery, it started that whole procedure. So I read it. I was trained as a young man in the British military to take out bridges. Just evolved from there. Now we used a different kind of charge. We would use rope, blasting rope, or a shape charge for taking out a bridge. And the rope was called, I think it was called cordite, cordite, cordite. And it would just be a rope in any diameter from a small diameter for a small pole to 3/4 of an inch. And you just wrapped it around the bridge pylon down low in the water. A diver would go down and just wrap it continuously around, and it would just snap the concrete pylon in half if you did it right. A shape charge would blow it in one direction or cutting charges. So we use different charges. I demoed bridges. I demoed rock. I never did anything on land, but that's what we would use. A cordite, and very rarely did we ever use an ignition fuse. Although we did have them at some point for certain jobs, but we didn't use fuses. We used electric. The blast radius for the safety on those charges was 1,000 feet. And we were on the ocean, though, because you got to remember there were no blasting mats. It was just the only thing that we depended on to subdue the charge was water. So 1,000 feet minimum. And when we were coming into shore, especially after that Buffalo Bill blew up the marina, then the blast radius was bigger, and then the charges were. We had a real blaster on the barge that set the charges off right. Yeah, minimum 1,000 feet. Minimum 1,000 feet, but that was 1,000 feet because the charge was set to go in a specific direction. But you could make it any diameter. Plus, also, it was in December. There were no boats, just a few fishing boats. So 1,000 feet minimum. But I kept it at 1,500 feet minimum. But 1,000 feet would have been enough if the charge would have gone off right. No, you're not a troll, Soy Raider. Buffalo Bill lived to tell the tale. What we did was 6 starters, 2 starters, 6 50-50 pigs, and then hard pack. We had a hard pack on the barge, hard pack. And now these are 60 feet down, so there was no tamping, so to speak. So what we did was we put 6 starters, 6 pigs. And then very easily we would take the drill itself on the T50 rope steel. Very easily we would just slide the drill down. Somebody would hold, because the drill is on the front of the barge, but the collet that the drill went down in, we'd hold the wires taut over to one side, and as we dropped the drill steel down into the pipe, and then out of the pipe and then into the hole, we'd use the nose of the drill itself, a smaller drill bit, not the full-size drill bit. We might use a 2-inch drill bit. The T50 rope steel was 1.5 inches, and then they might have put a 2-inch bit on the tip of the 2-foot, the T50, and then just very gingerly just drop it down so it didn't cut the wires. So that we would put about 3 feet, 2 feet of hard pack in the hole, and then tamp it down with a 2-inch bit, as opposed to the 6-inch bit that we drilled the hole out with. Then we do 2 more starters, 6 more pigs, and of course the pigs are going to push the wire over to one side of the hole. So the drill, you'd be able to feel it. You know, one guy, not me, because I'm not a blaster, it was my barge, but you'd be able to feel it when you were dropping the drill steel down into the hole. And then when we got up high enough, we just used like a 20-foot piece of, actually it was wood, with a blunt end on the end of the wood. So we did tamp it down, and then when we pulled out all together, we just filled up the hole all together, pulled up the shielding pipe, and just walked the barge back, and set off. We drill another set of holes 6 feet back, and that would be, of course, the next day. We would do one blast a day, one blast a day. Yeah, the charges were supposed to be set with micro charges set directional, but they weren't. They were all, apparently there was some sort of a mistake in the wiring. We weren't on the barge long enough to find out what happened to Buffalo Bill. He got taken away, not in handcuffs, but he was drunk. I don't know how he got away with that. He was back to work a few weeks later, but I have no idea how he got away with that. He was a good blaster. He knew his shit, except that he was drunk. Well, he was drunk. He was drunk Christmas week, but I don't know. I have no idea if the charges were all directional charges, because we were working on a shoal, and they all went from right to left to blow the charge out to the ocean, not to the shore. The last one, he was in a hurry, blew it straight to shore. So if there were microcharges, he set them either backwards or didn't set them at all, and they just all went off at the same time, because the water dispersed was so big it was impossible to know what the hell happened. Nobody blocked you. He was a good blaster. He was like one of the best blasters in the union. I always remember whenever I worked for the Dock Builder Union, after that, or whenever I talked to the Billy the Kid or my dad, I would ask my dad, "Is that guy still working, blasting?" He's going, "Yep, still blasting." You would have loved to be on that barge. The high pitch is killing me out. Passport. When the judge says no social media, some people can't resist. Did you see how Barry Jordan dragged him out from his recluse? Oh boy, I got to tell you something. I'm not being facetious. I know the guy is listening. No contact means no contact at all. And what you admitted to today, I have no idea. It's all wishful thinking, like the poster in the backyard. It's all wishful thinking at this point. Apparently, you've slipped through the cracks once again. But my understanding of no contact is no contact. I don't know what that means other than no contact. So, but Barry certainly said something to irritate you, apparently. So, I will admit, though, I will admit this, that some of the things that have been said about you on YouTube are not true. I will admit that. I will admit there's no proof to much of what was said about you recently on YouTube is not true. Not now. There's no proof of that. I have to tell you, I would never say that, what was said. If it was true, I would say it, of course. But at this point, there are rumors floating around about that guy that just aren't true. And he does it to everybody else, and he doesn't think it's fair when it's done to him. So, it's a wash. It's a wash. If he does it to everybody else and then thinks no one should do it to him, well, that should be a wash. Let's just forget about the whole thing. But he doesn't look at it like that. He takes everything personal, like a 3-year-old. Anyway, moving on. Let's see if we could get... okay. No, Flywoods, if you want to talk about the announcement, feel free to do so. We'll just change the topic over to Flywoods being interviewed. I have no problem with that. Every man has a story. Flywoods is going to be interviewed tomorrow. This guy, motherfucker, he's one of the SLOB's best trolls, giving him money all the time and everything. So I am now threatening international terrorism? No, I'm just telling people that it should be their civil duty. Just like the SLOB wants people to unsubscribe from Flywoods' channel, I am telling people it's their civic duty to get this bum off the street, and that he's insulting Americans with his piss poor attitude about the way he treats the women in Thailand. We all know that prostitution now, because of Dennis Adams, is illegal in Thailand. We all know that. But if you keep it on the low key, well, mum is the word. But the SLOB doesn't do that, motherfucker. So now you're coming on my channel. Do I go on the SLOB's channel and promote my channel? Get off my channel, asshole. Do I come on your channel and promote, or the SLOB's channel and promote my channel? No, I don't. So now As I promised, anybody that goes on the SLOB's channel and comes to my channel gets permanently blocked. Adios, moron. As far as now, you can threaten international terrorism all you want. No, I'm calling for people to call the SLOB out on blatant prostitution in Thailand. Hard user on this channel, now you're gone. And who else was that? One more. Gaylord FAZIO, you're another troll for the SLOB, your history. Don't come on my channel and advertise somebody else's channel. I don't advertise my channel on anybody else's channel. I don't leave comments on almost anybody else's channel, ever. Don't come on my channel and do that. It's not a complicated process. I don't do it to other people, and I don't allow people to do it to me. So, yeah, no, I don't do that shit to other people. I don't even go on people's channel as a troll and promote my channel. And you got the nerve to come on my channel and say Gaylord FAZIO's on? Let me tell you what that's going to cost him. Big time. That's it. Big time it's going to cost him. He thinks that shit is funny. Some of it is, some of it isn't, but I don't appreciate it much at all. And as far as him being live, who would care that he's live? Who would care? Because he doesn't tell the truth about anything anyway. The guy's a lying, degenerate alcoholic, Viagra-popping, street girl picking up piece of degenerate garbage on the street, walking the streets of Thailand. Who cares that he's online? You're not going to get my friends to go over to see his channel. And if they do, and I see them over there, I'll block them too. Because I don't care who watches my show. I never cared. I'm never going to care. I have a channel that I have been on YouTube now 11 years, and no one's ever caught me in a lie. I have people saying I never owned a barge. Puff, I owned a barge. Never owned a backhoe. I owned a backhoe. Never owned an Ocean Racer. I owned an Ocean Racer. Never owned a Cobra Mustang. I owned a Cobra Mustang. Never owned a house on the water in Key Largo. I owned a house on the water in Key Largo. He owned a house for only 3 months. I owned a house for 13 years. 12 years. 13, almost 13 years. Just a few months short of 13. I have people lying about everything about me. I never got caught in a lie on YouTube. So the SLOB, as far as I'm concerned, actually, I could even go so far as to say if the SLOB would have stayed in Pattaya and went back to Street Town, they could have changed his channel's name to Dead Man Walking. That's what I believe was about to happen. And that's why he split, because he's a coward. No, you should be a coward. You should flight instead of fight. When you realize that you've pissed off the more powerful, more influential people in a community that's made up of gangsters, according to Jack Thompson and a few other people, you've already pissed off a half a dozen gangsters or mafia types in Thailand. It's time for you to leave, man. And he left. He did the smart thing, but he also did the cowardly thing, talking blah, blah, blah. He didn't do anything that he said he was going to do. So don't come on my channel, mother effer, and promote somebody else's channel. Don't anybody do it. I don't do it to anybody else, and I don't appreciate it being done to me. And I'm not going to have it. You're not going to come on my channel and call my friends names. Even if there was an issue with my friends, I would probably not allow it. They're my friends, right? But I've not had a friend that I had an issue with that you've spoken the truth about. So you can't come on my channel and lie about my friends, and you're not going to abuse any of my friends. It's just not going to happen. So what you people don't understand is me. You don't understand me. You don't understand honor. You don't understand integrity. You don't understand a damn thing about the rules on the street and how some of us grew up. You have no understanding of it at all. You think you read books, you saw movies, you have no understanding. You have no idea. None. I can't even tell you. If I do, I'll get my channel taken down. But you have no understanding of honor and what dishonor. Forget about dishonor in the military. Forget about lying to your wife as to whether or not you cheated on her. Cross somebody like they made a movie about. Cross one of them guys, the bent nose guys. Cross one of them and see where you end up. Come on, let's go out on the boat. I just bought a brand new cat, 100-mile-an-hour boat. Yeah, go ahead, go take a ride. Enjoy yourself because it's going to be your last. This is going back into the 70s and the early 80s. You have no idea about street justice, real street justice. You come on my channel, you pretend to be men. You guys aren't men. You're a bunch of girls with dresses on. So, now it's 12 o'clock, boy. Getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning gives us an advantage to getting shit done outside, coming in and making a video, taking a break, and then going back outside again. So let me, there is one more thing I want to do. I want to grab the link. Wow. Oh boy. I want to grab the link to Flywoods One's channel. And that means I have to go back at least 2 pages back. And then go to click his comment. And then I think I know this is Flywoods One's channel. Okay, where are we? We're 1, 2, 3, 4 back. Okay. I'm going to give you the link to Flywoods One's channel. So that you can go and catch his live stream or ask him, or at least subscribe to his channel, excuse me, because his live stream, he already said his live stream, he was going live on somebody else's channel. So I posted that 3 times, and while I'm there, I might as well get Ruby's channel as well, because they do have a GoFundMe in place. Ruby Galaza, and it's to help them with the cost of the accident. Okay, so I'm going to give you the video that I believe has the information for the GoFundMe. I'm not going to watch a 3-hour video, but I'm going to give you that link as well to Ruby. And for some reason, it says it has something to do with the GoFundMe on that page. Flywoods, if you want to send me a link, that'd be all right. To the fundraising thing. I don't see a link here. You're welcome. I don't see a link. Could you send me a link to the fundraiser itself and I'll post it up for you? Please? I don't see the link. You should have that. Maybe if I go to Ruby's homepage, it should be. You should have that on your homepage. Or you should have it on the community at least. You have a community page on your page. You should have the link to the fundraiser on every video. Motherfucker. You're a piece of garbage. You stick up for the slob. You know damn well he lied about everything. You know he lied about everything, and you still stick up. This is what's wrong with today's society. I'm not even being facetious. This is what's wrong with today's society. You have some piece of garbage named Motherfucker, okay? Some piece of garbage blogger with no videos, no page, no content. He kisses the slob's butt so he could be mentioned in the comments, and he lies about the slob being some sort of superhero. That's the kind of guy that gets invited out on the Go Fast Cat boat. That's the kind of guy. That's exactly the kind of guy. You might think it's old school, but if I told you what happened, oh God, what a mess. You think you're tough guys because you say tough, bad words and you stick up for some piece of garbage like the slob. You think you're all tough and all seasoned criminals and shit like that. You have no idea what goes on in real life behind the scenes. Not a clue. Not one bit. Not a clue. I don't know what to say without actually spilling the beans. I would never do that. There are people out there right now, there are people watching me on occasion that, God forbid, I mention the nickname or the name. You have no idea what could happen to me if I mentioned an address, a name, a nickname, a place. I did that once. One time I mentioned a guy's nickname back in 2011. And my phone didn't stop ringing for 3 hours. Even though I was in Florida already a couple of years, already 9 years, 10 years I was in Florida. What, 95? 7 years I was in Florida. Okay? For 10 years, 2010, 17 years I was in Florida. And I mentioned a nickname of a guy I used to work for. 17 years later. And my phone, who I was listed under On Time Back Home Michael FAZIO, but I got like several phone calls. Are you crazy? Are you nuts? Mentioning such and so-and-so's name? I'm going, dude, I just mentioned his nickname in passing. Don't mention his name. And they were serious too. And I didn't even give out a piece of information. There was no like, this guy did this or that or the other thing. I just mentioned a nickname. It could have been anybody in the world. That nickname could have represented somebody in Russia, in Siberia. But it didn't. It represented... You people think you know about the mafia? You don't. You don't know nothing about the mafia. The guy's nickname that I represent, that I mentioned, that all the people that were publicized by the FBI back in the 70s and the 80s, all those people that were represented as the heads and the mafia bosses and the lieutenants and the capos and the capo de capo, all of those people, they answered to somebody else whose name you would never hear in the newspapers. That's the real mafia. That's the real Black Hand. They answered to somebody else. And the people that I knew were those people. And the ones that you read about in the paper. Why? I can't tell you why, but just take my word for it. So when I mentioned a nickname of a guy that no one but a handful of people in the whole world would know this guy's nickname, the phone started ringing. And I don't know if it ever got back to him or not, but they said, don't mention that name again. You have no idea who actually runs what until you really get into it. And then you realize that some guy you're building a deck for on 95th Street is actually the guy that really runs the show. Or a woman that you're building a deck for, and a guy named Ole doesn't show up with the poles and the barge in June when he said he was going to show up with the barge to put the poles in June or May, and then they say, Mike, the woman, my neighbor, my best friend, that people I spent Christmas, 4th of July, holidays, Thanksgiving with, people whose garage I rented for one of my cars, one of my nice cars that I had back then, said, Mike, where is Ole with the poles? And I said, Ole said that his price originally for $3,000 to put the poles in, he's not going to do it for $3,000. And he wants double that now. And he's punishing me, even though I built the docks and I agreed to his $3,000 price for 6 poles, $500 a pole. He's punishing me because I'm going into the dock building business and I'm taking dock building work away from him. And her husband says, who is this guy? He made an agreement with us, all of us, to put the poles in. And now this is a lady I know for God knows how many years, 10 years, who lives just a few doors down from me on 95th Street. And she's the sweetest lady in the world. Every day I worked on her deck and dock on land, her deck over the water, and her upper deck that she put a Four Seasons room on. They paid $12,000 for a Four Seasons glass room on top of a deck I built on the 2nd floor of the back of their house. It was only 16 feet by 14 feet, but it had the round glass, it had the shades in the glass, double glass. $12,000 was a lot of money back in, say, 86 or 87. And I didn't put it in. Four Seasons came and put it in. Hey, who is this guy? And that doubles the price. And I said, well, I gave him, of course, the man's name and telephone number. And the guy told him, no, I'm not going to, I want $6,000. And I want to say the guy's name. I saw the man the last time I was back in New York. He's a very old man now. And he said, where are you? And Ole told him where he was. And he goes, I'm going to send somebody there with the money. And we want you to come and put the poles in. That's how he got Ole to tell him where he was. Right then and there. Right there on the phone. He goes, I'm going to send somebody there with the deposit, but we want you to come this week with the poles. And when he hung up the phone, he says, come here. And he goes, that guy Ole, he's going to come here. He's going to ask us if he can do the job for free and give us the $2,500 for the poles, because it was $2,500 for the poles and $3,000 for the labor. He's going to come here. He's going to apologize to me and my wife. He's going to ask us if he could give us cash money, do the job for free, no cash, and then give us the poles for free. And he's going to do it this week. And I said to him, I don't think so. This guy runs like all of Mill Basin and Sheepshead Bay. He's the only barge around. He goes, he's going to come here and give us the job for free and the poles for free. He'll be here in an hour. And an hour later, or thereabouts, I was still building the deck for the Four Seasons room that was going to go on the back of the house. Ole came, apologized to Mr. and Mrs. So-and-so, and asked him if he could do the job for free and give us the poles for free. And the man said, yeah, that'll be okay, as long as you get it done this week. And then he came and put the poles in. He brought the poles with him. I laid out the poles, for the dock, for the fingers on the dock that I had built, and the ramp and stuff like that. And the man gave him the $2,500 for the poles, because they were brand new poles. They were 20 feet of water, so they were 20 feet up. They were 55 foot plus sticks, 60-foot sticks. So he really did pay $500 a piece for the sticks, and they were really brand new. He originally was going to use creosote, and then my friend said, no, you get new poles, new pressure-treated poles, which is not as good as creosote, but Tony didn't want creosote on his dock. So, Tony, I said, did I say Tony? Sorry. So you don't have no idea who actually runs the show. So some elder man named Tony, who probably is not watching my video, but other people are watching my video that know Tony, and they're laughing because they know I'm telling the truth. And his wife, who could break bread with John himself on any given day of the week, at any time, by just making a phone call. They could go sit down and break bread with John, the guy they make the movies about. Why? It was family. Who knew? Who knew? Who knew that it was family? But you have no idea what kind of family it was. And you have no idea what actually goes on behind the scenes in the real world. Not this bullshit you see on TV and the movies. The people you see on TV and the movies, those are the underlings. The people that run the show are guys like Tony and his wife, who call the shots, who could make one of the richest men in the entire area beg to do the job for free. Now, whoever went there to pick him up, I don't know. I was in the backyard, but they brought him into the backyard to talk to me, to lay out what was going on with the poles, and he said, okay, I'll do this job. I'll be here this week. And he was here this week. You people have no clue. So, motherfucker, you come on my channel as a tough guy. You're nothing. You're garbage to me. In real life, you're garbage to me. Until you prove to me who you are, what you are, you're a real man, you're an alpha male, or you're a superman, you're nothing to me. And so is the SLOB. Garbage to me. Garbage. That's what he is. Garbage. I don't care that he's live. I don't care what he says about me. Can't prove a word of it. So, I'm looking for Flywood's channel link. Let's see if we got that. I asked you to post it. You haven't given it to me yet. Okay, give me. All right, hold on. All right, I don't know if he's going to read his messages, but he may or may not. I'll look for the... You people have no clue. You're some punk like the SLOB grew up where they have the casinos. they have mafia out there, but nothing like the condensed version of mafia. Howard Beach, where I grew up, had the most. Well, it was kind of a toss-up between Howard Beach and Bergen Beach, and Mill Basin even too came into it. But Howard Beach per square mile, Howard Beach is 1 square mile. Howard Beach had more mafia per square mile than any other square mile on earth, including Sicily. Okay? More mafia kingpins, more families, more family members, more capos, more capo de capos, more lieutenants, more crews, more clusters, more everything. Go on and look up go look it up. Go look up, just Google Howard Beach, what's it famous for, and you'll see. But anyway, you guys, you have no understanding of the real world and what happens in the real world. Okay, I sent him a message. Hopefully he'll get back to me with that. I'm going back to my channel now, I think. Yeah. Okay, Flywoods, that's up to you. Well, let's see what we can do about that. You can now. I made you a moderator. So you're welcome to post the link. Post it 3 times. I need to get well, I need to take my pill. I need to take that. I need to take this, and I need water. Oh boy, I need to get some water. The weather report said rain all damn day, heavy thunder showers at midday. It rained for on and off for a little while, and then nothing. Post it 3 times, Flywoods. Which doesn't really matter that it didn't rain that much today, because I've been working now almost every day since Friday. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I worked 4 days. 1 day completely in the rain I worked. I worked 4 days in a row. Today's Wednesday, right? Tuesday. Okay, so I worked Saturday, Sunday, Monday. 3 days in a row, but I worked Thursday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So actually, if I made today my day off, which it's not going to be a day off, I'm going to finish this up. I'm going to wait for the sun to pass the west side of my cargo can 1, and then I'm going to go and then I'm going outside to, well, I think that'll be a private stream. Yesterday I made a 2-hour private stream inside my cargo can 1. I'm breaking down the boxes that were in cargo can 2, cargo container. I'm breaking down the boxes, and I ran across some things that I didn't have that I needed in Cargo Can 2, and things that I didn't need in Cargo Can 2, I'm separating to put back in Cargo. Opposite that. I'm breaking down stuff from Cargo Can 2 to put in Cargo Can 1. Oddball things like a set of inline wrenches, a set of snap-on box ratchets. I found a few of those. Stuff like that. You know, nothing earth-shatteringly important, nothing I couldn't do without. But I also did find some really cool tools that I could use that I didn't have. I found a set of snap-on. I call them carburetor wrenches or distributor wrenches. The biggest wrench in the set is 3 inches. It's in a military-grade green canvas, and the biggest wrench is 3 1/4 or 3 inches high, and it might be 5/16. Then it goes 5/16 1/4, 5/32, 4/32, 3/32, down to 1/8 of an inch in snap-on. I don't know if that's rare or not, but and I may never use it, but it's a really cool little set. And I wanted to get that into a container with mothballs before the moths found that old canvas. So let's see what we got here. The Flywoods, I think, posted that stuff. Okay, thank you. So, yeah, you guys don't, you know, you hear the other guy, the liar, the liar in chief of YouTube. I grew up. No, you didn't grow up in New York City, dude. You grew up in some other weird ass town 20 miles outside New York City. Actually, you grew up halfway between the Bronx and Mamaroneck, if I remember correctly. That's not New York. Okay? It's not New York. It has nothing to do with, and it certainly has nothing to do with growing up in Howard Beach, Mill Basin, or Bergen Beach, and living and working and playing with people from all 3 areas in many different ways. Living, working, and playing. Playing doesn't necessarily mean going to the park and, you know, throwing a few hoops. Playing means playing with a few people. It doesn't, we're not talking about games here. We're talking about real life. So you never had a real life experience with anybody that was hooked up or connected with a bent nose, because if you did, you wouldn't be alive. No one would allow you to be part of their club or their crew. You would get what the equivalent of myself being a Mason, you'd get blackballed. That's where the term blackball comes, the black stone. Is everybody gets a white stone and a black stone, as when you're in the group, and when you're a Mason, and a new guy wants to come into the group, and everybody votes. And if everybody puts in a white stone, and only one person puts in a black stone, that's where the term blackballing comes from. You got blackballed, not allowed to be a Mason. So you just have to cross one person of everybody in the lodge just one time, and they blackball you. Now, of course, you would be outside, and the gatekeeper would have you outside and away from where anybody could hear. And then the master of the lodge would say, okay, why was he blackballed? And then they'd find out. And then they would talk it out, and then the master of the lodge would say, well, we're going to give it one more vote now that we've talked it out, in case you've changed your mind. And if he still gets one black ball, then gone. He doesn't become a member. And you, long before you got even into the friendliness of a crew, would get shit canned from a mile away. They would smell your weak personality a mile away. No, they would know who you were from birth. because you don't just get involved with certain people. They know people that know people that know your family, that know people that know you, that know women that you've dated. It goes back the same way. You don't become part of a crew unless you're a trusted member of the community. And you've never crossed anybody. And you know if you've crossed somebody when you cease to breathe. You would be in the second category. You're a trip, man. The shit that you say on YouTube and the shit that is real reality, two different things. You're welcome, Flywoods. It's no problem. And, you're welcome to post that information on my other videos as well, if you like. It's fine with me. I mean, you have a legitimate cause, and you certainly have bills. I mean, I don't listen to any of the crap that other guy, the fake mafia guy, says. I don't listen to anything that he says as the truth. Not anymore. Maybe for about 30 seconds before I knew who he was 5 years ago, 4 years ago, I believed him one time for about 30 seconds. And then that was it. That was the last time I believed anything he said. Okay, now. Yeah, so I'll go back to work. I think today's job, yesterday I made a live stream. It's called my private live stream. It's only going out to a few friends of what I did in the cargo container. Just to let you know that every day I put in a couple of hours out there. Yesterday, I took the blade off the grass trimmer because I got to bring that into the city. My next project I cleaned up the bench so I could put my $700 blower, backpack blower, up on the bench. And then I'm going to end up putting that back together. Because although I took it apart, I brought the parts to a place to buy parts. They won't sell me parts here in the Philippines. But if I bring the blower into them to have them fix it, they can get the parts to fix the blower. So that basically amounts to extortion. You bring the machine here, we'll fix it, or we won't sell you the parts, which I don't really care at this point. I'll bring the machine there. I have 3 machines. I have a $900 still street saw, a 14-inch street saw that needs a coil. They won't sell me a coil. Now, I actually think I found another shop last week. When I'm putting the blower back, you know what I'm going to do today? I'm going to take those parts that I need replacing. I'm going to bring it to a little shop I found on the street. I've known it was there for years, but I stopped into this shop. It's only about 12 feet wide. And the guy's been there since I got to the Philippines. And I never stopped in to talk to him. The last 2 weeks ago when I was getting the tire fixed, I stopped in. I thought it was just like a repair shop that he had to run out for parts because you always go buy it on the jeepney. But when I stopped in, there's actually some sort of like a little warehouse or store or parts bin behind where he works. And he actually has access to the parts to most of this equipment. So I think I'm going to bring in I'll bring in the grass cutter. It's a $300 grass cutter. Runs perfect, but the clutch in the shaft is froze up. And I don't have a clutch, and I don't know where to buy a clutch. But he might be able to use Shindawa and Ryobi. Some parts are exchangeable. He might have one or know how to fix the one that's there, replace the springs or whatever. I don't know. The guy is a legitimate mechanic. So I think I'm going to put the Ryobi chop grass weed whacker outside. And then I think I'll take the parts that I want replaced. I want a coil for the still straight saw, and I want a muffler shroud. I could make that. I could have made it from the time I took it into the city twice to 2 other places. I could have made the shroud, but it's a weird piece of metal. It's a thin piece of stainless steel with fireproof graphite on either side bonded to the stainless steel. It's a baffle deflector. Not it keeps when the muffler shoots out of a little hole in the back of the muffler, but the muffler gets almost red hot. Around the muffler is a stainless steel frame with a fireproof graphite on both sides of the graphite. Well, it got so hot that the graphite just flaked off of that. And it also was non-magnetic stainless, and it rusted out, so it fell apart, basically. So then that melted the plastic shroud on the outside of the backpack, but also eventually it would just melt a large portion of the backpack. So I want to put a shroud back on. I could just use a piece of steel, but I really wanted to get that fireproof one. And that was one thing for that. And also the backpack blower, when it starts up, it idles perfect. It idles like a champ. But as soon as you give it gas, it bogs out. Now, I looked online for that, for you guys that don't think I'm a mechanic, and it said that just before the muffler, there's a flame arrestor. It's a screen. That's a non-magnetic stainless steel screen, and it serves 2 purposes. It causes back pressure in the piston that helps build up compression because it's 2-cycle butterfly valve, and it does. And it arrests sparks so they don't come out of the back of the blower. If that is clogged up, it will only allow the blower to idle. So it was, you could see through it, but you couldn't, it wasn't, I polished it up with a stainless steel wire brush. So now it's probably got 70% more airflow through it. So theoretically, I could put it back together and find out if it works. And if it doesn't work, I'll just get another one. Or, I'll bring it to the guy's shop. I'm sure he's going to have the parts to fix it. So that's it. I'm going to say goodbye. Thank you to everybody. I'll go do more non-mechanical shit because I'm not a mechanic, of course, on my property. And I also, I want to check on my email. I was promised my rebar bender would be in Manila before the end of the month of September. And now today's the 6th already. And they didn't send me back a letter. An amazing thing. But it is coming from China, so I'll do that live. And I'll let you know if the rebar bender is in Manila. So we got to go here. We got to go rebar. We got to go this. You'd think this guy would put his damn telephone number in every video, every message that he sends me, but he doesn't. Ah, here it is. Okay. Okay, call up Mark. Okay. Okay. Ringing. Wow. That was fast. The phone call to Manila that's ringing. Figures I'm calling during lunchtime. They don't answer the phone. You know, this company that I'm sorry, we've been busy the past few days. We don't have stocks yet of the 2-in-1 bender and cutter machine as of now. New stocks will arrive by the end of September. Can you still wait until then? Well, so please cancel your order on Lazada, because Lazada had that machine, but then because my debit card didn't work, they sold the machine. Okay, that's one person. Okay, that's useless. Okay, now let's call up. If I call up the bank, I'm just going to get aggravated. Grace. Let's find Grace. Grace. Let's search that. Nope. I know how we could do this. Yeah, I do a lot of other stuff to get this hotel done. And I end up making I've made 2,000 phone calls for a rebar bender cutter, portable rebar bender and cutter, and to get my credit card turned back on. I've made 2,000 phone calls in the last 6 months for equipment, brokerage houses, stuff like that. I have the phone number in my phone, but I don't know how to go look for that. You know, somehow I have messages from a bank. That's not possible. This bank sent you a single message in March with no subject, and yet it doesn't show up in my messages. Huh. How is that even possible? It's not really possible. Nothing to see here in March. So I'd have to go back to March. It's already March since I'm having trouble with this bank. Wait a second. Wrong bank. Wrong bank. I have several bank accounts. I have trouble with 2 banks. Here it is, right here. Now, let's see if we have a telephone number. Okay, so now this is dated September 14th, 2 weeks after my debit card was supposed to be fixed. So now that's a full-on month. Or full-on 6 weeks now. And this is a bank. Good afternoon. May I please speak with Faith? Thank you. This is a bank where the manager said as soon as possible they'd have my debit card fixed. Now, I have not talked to her in 2 weeks because I just didn't have time. And I know where this is going. I didn't talk to her in 2 weeks because I already started another bank account. But yes, dear, thank you. I already started another bank account. And the next time I go into the bank, I'm telling you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a giant pile of money on the bank, on the counter of the bank. I'm going to put it, and I'm going to make them give it to me in 20s, 50s, and 100s, just to make the pile bigger. And then I'm going to put it in my bag, or I'm going to bring a bigger bag or a backpack, and I'm going to walk out and put it in my other bank account. As soon as my other bank account is, as soon as I get the debit card from my other bank account, that which would have been, it might be 30 days or up already. No, I don't think so. Hold on a minute. Hello? No, not yet. Transferring. It's an amazing thing. It's amazing that they answered the phone, actually. But then again, this is a private number. It's a private number that's supposed to go directly to Faith, but it went someplace else today. Hello, Faith. Good afternoon. This is Michael FAZIO. Have you determined what's wrong with my debit card yet? So you haven't figured out why the card won't work online then? You're saying there's nothing wrong with it, but yet you asked me for the screenshot. I gave you the screenshot. And now you're saying that they can't find anything wrong with it. That's the feedback you receive. I understand you're not in charge of the computer stuff, so here's what I'm going to have to do then. I've told you that I'm going to just come in and we're going to put the money on the counter and I'm going to transfer it to another bank. Okay. Yeah, I know. I just didn't do that yet because I started another bank account and I have another debit card that should be ready this week. And I want to make sure their debit card works before I move all that money from one bank to another. So I think by the end of the week or possibly the middle of next week, I'll be stopping in and I'll bring the account. What is the minimum that I have to keep in that account? 10,000? 3,000. I'll just keep the minimum in there in case I ever need you again. Why? I don't understand why they just didn't issue me a new debit card. Well, it is, but you see how this doesn't make any sense, Faith? The card doesn't work. You asked me for a screenshot of the card being rejected. I tried it on different websites. I tried it on Lazada and I tried it on Shopee. The card is just rejected. So you asked me for a screenshot of it not working. I gave you the screenshot of the card not working. But your department, not you, but the department comes back and says there's nothing wrong with it. It doesn't work. You see how I am telling you the card doesn't work. I proved to you that the card doesn't work. And you're telling me you wouldn't give me a new debit card because you can't find anything wrong with the card. There's a problem there's nothing wrong with the card. There's something wrong with the way your bank does business. That's what's wrong. You should have just given me a new debit card. This is going on 7 weeks now. Yeah, but you didn't even try. You didn't even try to give me a new debit card. You just said, no, sir, they want to find out what the problem is. And then they didn't find out what the problem is. Well, then at least you would have been, then at least I could have said you tried, but you didn't. All you did was you listened to somebody on the other end of a phone saying there's nothing wrong with the card, but you didn't try to fix the problem would have been to give me a new debit card. You didn't try that. That's going to go in my dossier and the video I post about your bank. And, and I am not recording this conversation, but I'm telling you that your bank, I tried to call the manager, Joy, probably 30 or 40 times. They bring that number that you gave me, brought me to another number, and the other number gave me a different number. No one answers the phone on Joy's number, ever. Your bank is just notorious for not answering the phone or not doing what they said they're going to do. And you have a lot of my money, but that's not going to be for much longer. But you have an excuse for everything. You should have just given me a new card, and then I would have said, well, at least right, but you didn't. I had to go and sit down in a bank and fill out a new set of paperwork, which took a little over 2 hours. Start a new bank account. I put 5,000 peso deposit in the bank account. Go through all that rigmarole again, bring my passport into the city, all that stuff, just because you wouldn't give me another debit card. At least I would have said you tried, but now it's not going to be like that. So I'll see you when my new debit card comes in. I'll buy something from Shopee or Lazada online, and then I'll be coming into your bank and I'll drain the account. Okay? Okay, thank you. Bye-bye. See how these fucking people are, man? You see how these people are? This is a nightmare. They refuse to give me a new debit card. They can't find out anything wrong with the debit card. They want to find out what's wrong with the debit card. I sent them screenshots of the credit card not working on Lazada, not Shopee. Doesn't work. If it doesn't work, she asked me for a screenshot of Lazada. I gave her a screenshot of Lazada. They refused to take any responsibility for they have a lot of damn money in the bank. So she's making an excuse that for 4 weeks, the manager in Cebu is too busy to answer the phone. And with the number that she gave me when they answer the phone, when they connect me to the manager, it just rings until it disconnects. She's got an excuse for everything. An amazing thing. These people refuse to take responsibility. This is a bank. We're not talking about some clown on the street that went to work drunk one day. We're talking about people that are trained to be a manager of a bank and can't give you a reasonable answer or an explanation as to why your debit card doesn't work. Holy shit. That's why I didn't want to call them up today, because all I get is bullshit. Plywood says, laughing my effing ass off. Within 10 minutes of posting the YouTube channel, who's the first troll commenter? Our favorite lion crying Hawaiian. Loser, says Flywoods. Par for the course. How do you deal with, you know what I should do? You know what I think I'll do? I'll call up the bank and ask him if I have my debit card right now. Jesus Christ, you know how many fucking phone calls I made to find out about this debit card? What's the name of my new bank? What the hell is the name of my new bank? That's that bank. Where's the name of my new bank? That's a deposit for $500,000. Slip, but that's the old bank. Where the fuck did I put my bank paperwork? Ugh, That one is a deposit for more. Where's my bank? Where's my money? There's my money in that bank. I forgot the name of the damn bank I put money in. Hold on a minute. Jeez. Because I never dealt with that bank before. I went past it. For 7 years, I've gone past it, but I never did business with it. Huh. Imagine that, forgetting the name of your bank. I got so many frickin' bank accounts. Okay. Here it is. That's why I forgot the name of the bank. Okay. Yeah. They got 2 branches that I know of. Oh, more. 1, 2, 3. They got 3 branches. That's right. They got one right. Okay. Man, am I stupid. Which one is this one? That one's there. That's not it. Let's try this one. Tag Balaran. Let's see about this one here. I think this one's it. Oh, nope, wrong one. Okay, that's not it. Okay, and this can't be it, but yeah, this is. Oh, man. Come on. See, it takes all that time to get a number connected. It's ridiculous. I don't even know that I got the right bank. Yeah, I do. Okay. Ringing. Now, let's see if they answer the phone. Wow, that was a lot of words. Okay. Good morning, honey. My name is Michael FAZIO. You know, is this Puti Ann? Is this Ann or the lady that helped me with my banking? Okay. Okay. You remember me, though? Okay. Okay. Yes. Salamat. My question is, do you know if my debit card has arrived yet? It's just about almost a month. Salamat. Okay. Thank you. So the lady knows me because she worked in another bank. The other bank, I have an account in, and she knows about the problem with the other bank. That's why she left the bank. We already had this conversation. Not you and me, but me and her. She left the bank because there's too many problems. Well, one of the problems with the other bank that I had was, oh God, one bank, they only had one branch. And when there's a case of COVID, the branch closes down. And if you want to get more than 20,000 pesos a day out of the ATM machine, you got to go to Cebu. Yes, dear. It's here. You're offline today? Okay, it's no problem. I'm not coming today. It's okay. I will come in. I think I'll be in Friday morning. But if I'm not, I'll see you next week. What is your name, honey? What? Gilda. H.I. Hilda. Okay. Hilda, mam, amping permi. Yeah, gamay lang. Like me, gamay. I am 32 kilos, Hilda. Salamat, amping. Okay. So they said a month, but it's just about 3 weeks. But it's there. But actually, the computers are offline for that bank today. So she may have thought I called from a cell phone. Now, while I'm doing this, let's see if we could get... Let's go find out about the girls. Yeah, let's do that. I have plenty of time because even if I work, I'll work today till it gets dark, about 6 o'clock or 6:30. I only want to put a few hours in today because I put in a lot of hours this week. And all right, so let's do what we do best here. Make a private mail. See who's online. I don't see any. Oh, no, not yet. Okay, private email it is. Okay, we'll wait. Okay, where are we here? You know, Flywoods, I don't know if you're still here or not. Man, I've said it since the beginning. The man is an idiot savant. How he manages, you got to give him credit for this. How he juggles all of the channels that he knows everything about. His phone must ring constantly. I make a video, you make a video, Ruby makes a video, Barry makes a video, DQ makes a video, the Hate Channel makes a video, Roberto makes a video, Dave makes, Popeye makes, he's an idiot savant. He listens, at the end of the week, he listens to 30 hours of YouTube a day. sometimes. How? How? You got to give him credit for that. You got to also not give him any credit for not having any kind of a life. At some point, it reaches a point of no return that where he's still monitoring Barry, right? He's still monitoring Barry, everything that Barry says for two or 3 hours, 2 or 3 times a day. Why? Supposedly you have enough information to put Barry in jail or get deported 500 times. Why do you still listen to Barry? Why don't you go out and do something fucking normal, like blog a river or a stream by your house, or take a walk. Get out of the house. Take your shovel with you in case you feel that you're in danger. The shovel weapon, but get out of the house and go do something. Go do something constructive with your life. Go buy a fucking bicycle. Get on your bicycle and ride to the beach. It's 6 hours walking time to the beach. Go get a bicycle. Put some freaking cash in your pocket and ride towards the beach. Get a vest and a flashlight and ride towards the beach. And if you get halfway there, get a hotel room or buy a 2-man pup tent and sleep in the woods at night. And then the next day you go to the beach and make a video of how you're camping out in the woods. Go do something with your miserable little life. Jesus Christ. How does he monitor all of this shit? Yep. Motherfucker 3 has a... See how they have troll accounts? Thanks, Frank. Thanks, Flywood. Flywood's name is Frank. So, how does he monitor all this shit? Motherfucker, I already explained to you. You didn't understand. Nobody that goes on the SLOB channel, ever. I am proactively removing people. So all of your troll channels will eventually be removed. You'll have to make new troll channels. And if that's what you want to spend your day doing, instead of proving to me who the hell you are and what you're capable of, besides running your mouth on my channel, why don't you do something? Show us something that you've accomplished. Show me something that you've built. Put you and a car that you built from scratch, or a boat engine that you modified, or you fly an airplane. Put you in the video and show me that you're an actual person, and maybe I will stop blocking you. But until then, you get blocked every inch of the way. I'm not having troll accounts on my channel. And if they're troll accounts and they're not causing harassment, I'll probably leave them on there. But like that guy this morning, the blasting, man, soy Raider. Yeah, I said to him, I can vet you in a minute on almost anything, on any topic. Soy Raider, do you really believe that Soy Raider knew that I knew about blasting? Shit. I've had we were doing 3,000 pounds of dynamite, sometimes a day, 2,800 pounds a day for like 7 months, man. What does that come out to? 20 times straight, 60,000 pounds a month for 7 months. What the hell is that? That's 300,000 pounds of dynamite and caps. I said, I carried it onto the barge. Physically, I carried it on. I had the key to the dynamite box. Oh, me, the blaster, and the captain of the barge, the blaster, and the blaster's second in command. So I carried 300,000 pounds of blasting caps and dynamite. Oh, and by the way, all that shit has to be separated. You can't carry blasting caps, starters, and pigs on the same boat. They all have to be separated. You have to go to the steel box. They depends on your job. The Firearms and Tobacco comes down. The dynamite company comes down with a flatbed truck. They dump off A steel box, half-inch plate, weighs about 5 tons. Depends on the size of the box. And then you tell them how many pounds that you want to store in the box. In our case, it was like 20,000 pounds of dynamite, enough for the week. And then we never kept more than 12 or 15,000 pounds in the box, but they brought us a box. The box was huge. And then I had the key. There's a guard outside the box 24/7 that there's dynamite in the box. So you think that guy knew that I knew about blasting? No. I can vet you, motherfucker. I can vet you in a minute, whether you're a car mechanic or not. I'll just ask you a simple question. What's a vernier caliper? And if you don't know the answer off the top of your head, then you're not a car mechanic. Okay? So what's the difference between ID and OD? You have to know that answer immediately. So you can't come on my channel and troll my channel, shithead. Well, so now we know there's going to be a video with a pile of cash going into one of my bags within, it won't be Friday. If the girls get back to me, and that didn't happen yet. Oh, man. Shit. What was I looking for? Reba. Mark. I'm just going to forward this mail to me. I'm going to call this number. They don't answer their phone. You know, I've called this company for months. Literally months I've called this company. And even went to so far as to send them like one email a week. They don't answer the email. They don't answer the phone. And when they do answer it, they say, sorry, we've been busy. Who the fuck is that busy? The President of the United States is not that busy. They lie. But they also asked me to send them 200,000 pesos. And they'll send me the machine. That ain't going to happen. Now she switched me over to a dead line. They only answer the phone when they want something. They know who's calling, too, believe me. They have caller ID. They should know who's calling. Yeah, it's fucking... How many phone calls did I make just today? This is the third one. I've called this company 500 times in the last 6 months. 500 times. And they've answered the phone exactly 4 times. Now they're not answering the phone. Again, hear it? I don't know. Beep, 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 beep. So they could be busy, and they could just not answer the fucking phone. 3 months I called once, sent them emails. But because they didn't have the machine, they know who is calling, what I want, they don't answer the phone. And it's important that they answer the phone because I have to make arrangements to go to Manila. And that's something I'm not looking forward to begin with. So now that's 4 phone calls I made today. 4 phone calls. 2 to the bank, 1 to the other bank. That's 7 phone calls today. And I make sometimes 100 phone calls in a week or more. It rings 3 times and then it goes busy. So they must transfer me over to a busy line. I don't know. I'm afraid to ask them. I'm afraid to offend them. Even though they have the balls to ask me to send them 200,000 pesos via a bank transfer, of all things, without any assurance that the machine is sitting in the warehouse, except other than I'm sure that I don't think they're going to rob me, but they're not. But they don't want to bring the equipment to the dock to load it on a ship to send it to me. I have to go to Manila, hire a truck, bring it to the dock, and go through shipping process. It's fucking hard doing business. You got this piece of shit, the SLOB, saying he doesn't know, and the other guy, the other liar, the liar. He's not going to buy he's not going to buy a rebar bender. Yeah, I am. What do you think? I'm going to buy a fucking $4,000 rebar bender? And I'm going to, for what reason am I going to buy a $4,000 tool if I'm not going to use it to build a hotel? Hello. Is this Rochelle? Hi, Rochelle. This is Michael FAZIO from Bohol. I'm calling about the 2-in-1 rebar bender. Okay, wait. So not yet. And can you please repeat what the end of October, the 3rd week? What did you say? 2nd week of October. Okay, so my plan is you're going to call me or email me when you got it there. I'm going to come to Manila because I'm the one that has to put it on the ship. Is that correct? Okay, you don't do that part, correct? Well, you can refer me to someone with a truck when I get there to bring it to the port. Is that correct? Okay. So that works fine for me. Then I will, if you will be kind enough to send me an email a few days before. I have a friend of mine that's a sales agent for tickets, and she will get me a ticket, and I will get my test. I forgot the name of the test, and I'll get all of that. Now, I think I won't be able to do that all in one day, correct? I'd be buying it from you, and then bringing it back to the port. So I'll probably be there at least 2 days. Do you think that's enough time, or should I make my stay 3 days? 3 days is the best? Okay, case we have a problem. Okay, so if you would please send me an email. I'm still interested. I'm ready. The funds are in the bank. My bank has an office right in Manila, several offices all over Manila. And however you want to do that, we'll go to the bank together and we get the money and we'll transfer it right in the bank, okay? Okay. So I'm all ready. When you are, just give me a few days and I'll give her a 3-day notice for the tickets, and then we'll go from there. Thank you, Rochelle. Okay, humping. Okay, so my rebar bender is on a ship. I don't know where it's coming from. That's too much information. It's on a ship. It should be here the 2nd week of October. And I'll be in Manila a few days after that, if it comes. But it was supposed to be here the 3rd week of September, so I wouldn't count on that. But she did answer the phone, and I know she wants to make the sale. And my bank has an office just a few blocks from her business, so that's not a problem. But they will not They will not be responsible to bring that machine to the dock. They will not. They won't broker the deal to bring the machine to the dock, and I wouldn't trust them to do it anyway. Too many things can go wrong. The driver of the truck, which I will be in when we bring it to the dock, could get into an accident, and then the machine falls off the truck and it's gone. The driver of the truck could say he got into an accident and make the machine disappear. We're talking about 185,000. Well, I should have made sure. I'll make sure now. I should have made sure on the price. Not that it matters, but you think she'll answer twice in a row? Big good luck with that. Hello, Rochelle. Yeah, one more quick question: is the price still the same, or what is the new price? Okay, great. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, salamat. Okay, so at least the price didn't change. All righty, we got a lot of shit done today, yeah. Yeah, and so to the clowns out there that say I'm not going to build a hotel, the thing that's more or less not stopping me from building a hotel, but why I'm not in high gear is because even if I did move the house and move the container, which I'm going to do by myself if necessary, even if I did that, I wouldn't have the rebar bender to start work with. What good with the holes? Only going to take a few hours to dig the last two holes. Maybe one day in the back and a half a day in the front hole, and then that's it. It's over. I'm done digging. And then, he's going to go out and spend $4,000 for a rebar bender, but he's not going to use it to build a hotel. What am I going to do with it exactly if I'm not building a hotel? That's the question. Some piece of garbage like Marapaka or the SLOB or the Liar. What am I going to do with a rebar bender if I'm not building a hotel? I have, at best, guess 50, 100. 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800. And then 100 times 12, then it's 1,200, that's 2,000. 2,000. And then I have a center column beam, 2,060, 2,120, 2,240. And then I have roof beams. So add 80, 80. That's 2,380. And 80. 3,400. I have 3,400 hoops on that, about with added reinforcements, just under 5,000 hoops with the staircase and everything else. 5,000 hoops I have to bend. And then I have to bend number 9 bar, the number 8 bar, and number 6 bar. How am I going to do that? Hire 5 Filipinos with a 10-foot piece of pipe? I'm not going to work like that. So I can work alone and do more work than 5 Filipinos, 10 Filipinos a day. I can work alone like a gentleman and do more work than 10 Filipinos, 20 Filipinos. You want to see Filipinos bend number 9 bar? You got to see it. It's like a monkey screwing a football. They're not going to bend number 9 bar. They got to get, first of all, these crews in Bohol and even in the city. I have seen some shit happen to rebar. If anybody's out there and you want to hear what they do to rebar, listen to this. Let's find out who's a contractor. You got 9 bar. Thanks, Flywoods. You got 9 bar, okay? You got to bend 9 bar 90 degrees, okay? For your foot, for the feet on your vertical columns. How do you bend 9 bar? Well, first of all, you find some huge object that will lock it down into place. This is how the Filipinos do it. And then they get a 1 1/4 inch pipe, 10 feet long. And then they'll put 5 or 6 Filipinos on it and then bend the pipe at 90 degrees. But they need 5 or 6 men. And if it's not 90, they'll put the pipe back on the thing. They'll check it for degrees. And then they'll bend it more than 90 or more, less, a few degrees more or a few degrees. It could take a half an hour to an hour with 5 men to bend a piece of pipe. Now you got 9 bar that goes through the beam boxes. It comes off, it locks, it's got a lock on the end, 180 degree lock on the end that goes into your outside beam box, column, cross member, if it's done right. And then it comes out about 5 feet and then down on like a 30 degree angle. Then it goes over about 4 feet and then back up into the second column. And then it does that 3 more times. 9 bar. How do you do that? By hand. You do it, they get it done with pipes and a great amount of effort. Or I could just push a button like this and go, ding, 30 degrees, boom, 30 degrees, 90 degrees. Oh, wait, I need 180 degrees. Okay, 180 degrees, 1 inch bar, 1.125 bar, 180 degree twist, turn on it, and 3.5 seconds as opposed to half hour to 45 minutes. And I got 5,000 hoops and 16 vertical bars times 12. 200 pieces of 9 bar that have to be bent, and another 100 pieces of 9 bar that have to be bent for a special structural called earthquake proofing, to earthquake proof the beam boxes so they don't rot. I don't know if it works or not, but that's what the plan calls for. So I have just under 6,000 bends to make. So if each bend only took 10 minutes, that'd be 60,000 minutes. How many hours are 60,000 minutes? And that's over the course of a year and a half or 2 years. And that's every day I have to have 6 or 7 or 8 men on the job to be bending steel. As opposed to just I go up on the roof, I have the steel delivered, I pick the steel up, I put it on top of the roof, the steel comes off of a truck with a winch on it, a lift on it, a crane on the truck. They pick the steel up, they put it on top of the container with a crane, and then I just have to pick up 1 bar at a time and slide it across my workbench, which I already have built. And you want me to hire instead 8 men to do this work? I'm going to be bending hoops for the columns and the column steel. I might bend 160 pieces of column steel before I even start to build my first column. Maybe I'll just bend all of it and store it someplace else. I have other storage places. I'm taking over the property next door already. Doesn't matter. I have places to store this stuff. But I'm not building a hotel. You guys have delusions of grandeur. You're going to make me out to be a lot. You're never going. I'm going to build a hotel. Well, yeah, Mad Max. Uh, oh, well, see, that's the part of what I talked about. Look, you're friends with Motherfucker 007, whatever his name is. Just don't talk about anybody else, okay? Please, I'm asking you nice, because when you said, I'm sure there are limitations of what people can do with pipes, there are, and you want to know how they get around their limitations? Let's find out what your knowledge of construction is. And if you don't have knowledge of construction, that's okay. I have watched the men in Tagbilaran City take a number 12 or 13 bull torch and bend 1.25 inch pipe. They take a 6-foot piece of 1.5 inch pipe, put it on the rebar, and then heat the rebar up red hot, and then bend the pipe to a 90 or a 45, whatever they want. What do you think about that? What's your opinion about them heating up a piece of rebar red hot and then bending it with a pipe for a footing, for a foundation? Let's find out a little bit about your construction knowledge. Oh, okay. Okay, so you don't know. It's okay. Not a lot of people would know. Most people would say, "Oh, that's okay. That's against the law. Go straight to jail for that in America." It reduces the strength of the rebar by 70% minimum. It's more prone to work hardening. It's already work hardened, or you've already taken out any strength that's in the steel by heating it up red hot. You've already taken out 70% of the strength. It's against the law. Buildings collapse because of stuff like that. But if you pay off the inspector, I guess they had to pay off the inspector, because I watched them put footings in and bend the steel like that in all the footings. You're not allowed to do that shit. That's crazy. But they didn't care. It's not their. They're not going to be in the building if it falls down, and it may never fall down. That's not the point. The point is you're not allowed to do that, and they still do it here. 2 years ago, I saw that happen. I mentioned it in a video 2 years ago. I would never say who did it and where, but I've watched guys with a 12 or 13 bullhead torch head on a 3-foot, what they call a junkyard torch, bend that steel like that, right? In plain open sight to the street. And then after I watched them, I went back to that shop that I had to go to next door, and a few days later, they had it shut off so you couldn't see what they were doing. Now, I don't know how they got away with that. You can't paint it. Maybe they did paint it. I don't know. But they did it. And the building is now a building. Heating, yeah, heating. Well, it makes it less strong. Brittle would make it more brittle. That's correct. It takes away 70% of the strength. So thank you for at least, taking the time to think about it. I appreciate that. Yeah, so all of these guys that don't think I know about construction, Jesus Christ, if we ever, in America, you did that in a commercial building, they would have, I don't know what they would do to you. They'd condemn the building and tell you to take it down. I have videos that I don't post on YouTube of video construction of buildings here in Tagbilaran and Bohol. And I don't post it because it shows people burning the bar in the beam boxes and the vertical columns. Right, the bar is right up against the form. No no outside concrete on the outside of the bar. Number 6 bar, right up against the form, vertical column, 47 foot high. Well, they did it on every floor, but I have video of them pouring multiple story buildings that I was allowed in to make videos of, pouring of the pour itself as a not a monolithic pour, but you know, multiple day pour using buckets and a cement mixer on the ground. 18 men humping buckets up and down ropes. I have videos like that, and I have videos of a monolithic pour. And I have the video that they took the forms off, and you could see rebar everywhere. It looked like a chessboard on the ceiling because there were no saddles underneath the crisscross of the number 4 bar that made the floor. There were no saddles at all. Well, the saddles were maybe a piece of a concrete block that broke, or they got kicked out, or when they moved the screen, the wire, the rebar was just laying on top of the plywood. You look at the ceiling, you just see every rebar in the entire ceiling. You see the rebar. You're not supposed to be able to see rebar. The vertical columns, they take the forms off the columns, vertical rebar. The beam boxes, they take the beam boxes off. You see every ring, every 6 inches. You see that's crazy shit. And they pay off the inspector, and the building gets passed. It's not allowed, and it'll never happen on my job because I won't pay off an inspector. Thank you, Mad Max. Okay. I don't know what that's about. Nookya. Cookna. I have no idea what you're talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about, Cookna. Go away before I block you. I'm in a good mood today. I let that one comment, nookna, cookna, I let that go. That'll be the first and the last. Proves what a nice guy I am. Get off my channel. Hey, Mad Max, thanks for stopping by. Yeah, thank you. And as I progress through the building of the hotel, I will give you all the rules and regulations. By the way, Mad Max, if you're still there, the minimum amount of required concrete to cover any rebar is 3 times the diameter of the rebar. So if the rebar is, say, 1 inch in diameter, you have to have 3 inches of concrete outside the rebar, or on the bottom of the rebar, or on the top of the rebar, so you don't see the rebar. 3 times the thickness of the rebar. 1/2 inch rebar, 1.5 inches of concrete. 1 inch rebar, 3 inches of concrete. Minimum. Those are the rules. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll leave off at that. Have a nice day. The guys that are trolling me from other channels, we'll see. Did the SLOB make those videos public to prove that he's not a liar? I think not. He can't do that. So, hey, SLOB, hey, motherfucker, and Richie, you are backing a liar, a degenerate, an alcoholic, and someone that's addicted to Viagra, because without Viagra, nothing works. And that's who your hero is. You guys have a very low threshold of heroism. Thanks for watching. And God day to everybody from Michael FAZIO in the Philippines, baby. And, of course, I am the most congenial person you'll ever meet in your entire life. They call me Mr. Congeniality. And, of course, I'm being permy. I come with my own references. Amping Parmi, which means take care always. Bye-bye for now. And, of course, Luispaganponce, thank you very much. Bye-bye for now.